Okay, well, now picture's gone.
Really?
Uh-huh. Let's see if I can't fix that. There we go, fixed.
Hey.
Easy enough.
Awesome.
Right? Easy. Easy.
We did it. We did it.
Easy. Easy peasy. Don't worry about it. It's like, I mean, why would we be worried? What would we be worried about?
I'm already
exactly,
worried.
Right?
I mean, you wouldn't be worried about anything because it means you wouldn't be subjected to this.
I guess you're right. But hey, listen. Who's to tell anyone what isn't their business when they're playing video games on the internet, right?
That is true.
I don't even know what I'm saying.
I don't know what you're saying either. I'm just going to get this started.
I was just having a little stroke while I was trying to navigate. Whoa, whoa, hold on. You're going way too fast. Is
What?
this the game? Are you playing the game already?
No, I'm just on the country select screen. This is the country select screen. This is the starting map of the
Do you want to
game.
explain the methodology with which we selected a country for today?
Oh yeah, so yeah, congratulations everyone. You know that weird Twitter poll that Jacob put up? Yeah, that was all the finalists and semi-finalists for which country I was going to play today. Basically, I had 4 selected. There were like a subset of each like color, and then one that I thought at least slightly kind of went with that country. So for blue, we had France, we had Bavaria, we had Venice, and I want to say we had either Brabant or Flanders as the 4th one. I thought about doing Sweden, but Sweden would just be a little more boring at the start.
Well, tell us what characters we would have been able to vote for if people had selected, because
I'll pull it up.
Initial poll was just red, yellow, blue, green. If you voted blue. What else were the options?
Yeah, one second. Let me pull up my notepad app. I will pull up. So for red, you would have had Sebastian the Crab, Elmo from Sesame Street, Mario, and Knuckles the Enchilada. For yellow, you would have had SpongeBob SquarePants, Big Bird, Wario, and Tails. And then for green, which is my favorite one, was green, we had Kermit the Frog, the Incredible Hulk, Yoda, and Luigi. And basically that gave us either England, Burgundy, Aragon, Poland, France, Bavaria, Venice, Brabant, Castile, Bohemia, Genoa, Netherlands, Portugal, Ottomans, Cologne, and Italy. So we had a bunch of options, but everyone chose the blue blur. So the blue blur I picked to be the Great Blue Blob, which, as people who play this game know, is France.
Well, Joshua, what is this video game?
What's this video game? So this is a Paradox Grand Strategy game. Made by the people of Paradox Interactive, located right up here in Stockholm. Very nice facility. I drove past it once. However, we are not going to be up there right now. Basically, this game takes place it starts in the year 1444 and goes until the year 1821. So right when the Concert of Europe was established at the end of the Napoleonic Wars. So it's basically kind of like it kind of goes through like the age of colonialism and the Reformation near the start, and then you kind of get more into like the age of imperialism and the age of revolutions as you go on. That's a game mechanic too, but it's also just kind of, the flow of the game. You start out and you're kind of still medieval, and then you kind of expand your empire across the seas if you can, or just, kind of establish your hegemony over a certain region or whatever. And then you got to grapple with civil unrest near the end of the game if you're trying to be an absolute monarchy, or fight against monarchism or whatever you decide to do. Basically,
I'm going to see if I'm not echoing anymore.
Nice.
Because I was having that where it's still doing that. I should have just gotten a different microphone because this one seems to have the issues most consistently.
Nice.
I should have just gotten the one that Joey is using when all three of us are running, but I just didn't feel like doing doing it.
It's all right. I mean, so they picked the blue blur.
I'm still echoing.
Oh, I got you. We'll wait for a minute then.
I mean, you can talk. Just give me a minute.
Okay. So y'all picked the blue blur, which means we're going with the blue blob. France here. So you can see France is not quite what it is in the modern day. As you can see, it's not even in one piece. It's kind of got some crap down here in the south and some stuff up north. That's not quite telling the full story, as you can see from this diplomatic map. We have a lot of vassals down here. We have Orléans. We have Armagnac. A couple other ones down here. We have Foy down here. A couple other ones like that. But basically, France is not in as bad of a position as it looks like. Part of the reason they're called the Big Blue Blob is because if put in the right player's hands, you can kind of smoke everyone as France. We're not going to really be trying to do that today. I don't want to go super sweaty.
What are we going to be trying to do then?
Yeah, we're going to do a bit of everything. Kind of showcase the game a bit and try
But Joshua, why?
Why?
Yes, why?
Because I want to make the map blue. In the words of Joey, I like blue.
But, I mean, why are we playing this game?
Because I felt like it. And I felt like subjecting Jacob to torture, basically. And that's why we're here. So, I guess we'll get started here.
And I'm still echoing, so I'm just going to get a different microphone.
I could go on Iron Man mode. I don't think there's...
I don't understand.
Screw it. I guess I'll go on Iron Man mode. That way, if I happen to get an achievement during this, I can. Let's see. Let's see. What do I want to name this? There we go. Easy money. Escargot is the name of the save file. I should have named it Sonic, I guess. Didn't think about it. But yeah. So, crud. I accidentally went past the kind of thing explaining France's situation. Because I'm just so used to doing it whenever I play this.
Just you talk about the game while I'm trying to fix the audio. Okay,
so I went past the thing that kind of tells you kind of where France is at right now. Basically, because I'm an idiot. But I'll figure it out. I'll explain it. So basically, at this point in time, we're near the end of the 100 Years' War here. So
What's the 100 Years' War, Joshua?
The very long period of time where England and France had a hissy fit at each other.
Why?
Because the English wanted to control France.
Why?
Because they had a dynastic claim that went back hundreds of years.
Okay.
Thanks. Basically, so at this point, the French have almost won the 100 Years' War at this point. Basically, the only lands they don't have conquered is this bit up here in Normandy and down here in Gascony. And then you have the Burgundians over here who are kind of, they're French, but they don't really pay homage to either side. They're kind of like on their own. But what happens near the beginning of this game is it's set right around the time of the surrender of, I think it's pronounced in some French way, but I just say Maine because it's like the U.S. state. It's spelled the same way. So basically Maine here, this province, basically in history, the British agreed to give this back in exchange for a truce. And in the game, basically the British have the option to either like go back on that agreement or choose to enforce it. We're not going to give them the chance to. Basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in like as soon as I can declare wars and just go and take it, because if we get that truce, then it means I have to not get any of this land back for like 100 years. Or not 100 years, like 10 years, which is really annoying. You want to get this land back as soon as possible. So basically, what I'm doing right here is kind of just like all the...
Is this game just about wars, Joshua?
No, it's about trade, it's about production, it's about colonization. You could play completely peacefully if you wanted to. But I'm just going to try to take most of the France region back, and then we'll try to play a bit more peacefully. But the first...
Why?
Because war.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
So, basically, what I'm doing here is just these are like the first kind of Pre-game clicks. I'm not going to explain like the overarching mechanics of this because I'm just clicking buttons very quickly right now because it's a lot to explain. Basically, all I'm doing is I'm basically making the estates, the nobility, the clergy, and the bourgeoisie be more loyal to me right now in exchange for certain rights that I'm giving them. Later in the game, that would give me a lot of debuffs, but since I'm not really an absolute monarch, we're more in a feudal society, it doesn't really give me that many debuffs.
Okay.
Yeah,
How do I sound now? I shouldn't be echoing anymore.
So, first things first, we are allied with Provence and guaranteeing Scotland. We don't want either of these things to be true.
Why?
Basically, if we become friends with Scotland, it means whenever I go to war with Britain, Scotland will join the war and immediately get destroyed by the Brits, which makes it very hard to achieve victory because the Scots are just getting curb stomped in the north. So you don't want to be friends with the Scots. So basically, what I want to do here is you can see the rivals of England, countries that don't like them very much here. It's Castile, it's Scotland, and Denmark. So my natural ally for this is going to be Castile, is the plan anyway. So what I'm going to be doing is sending an alliance offer to Castile, which they will accept. Basically, the little heart by their thing up here meant that they are friendly towards me. This little sword means they're a rival, so like Burgundy, England, and I want to say Austria are all rivals, which honestly are like the three rivals we want at the beginning of the game. That's good.
Josh, what are you clicking on? You have to explain what's the game.
Sorry, I'm setting
what
my
is the video
right
game?
Now. What is the video game?
Yes, what is happening? Well, I thought you just said it was about trade and negotiations.
It will be in a bit, but as France, we have some other priorities to deal with here at the beginning.
But Joshua, people don't know what this video game is, Joshua. You have to explain it.
Apparently, you're way too loud, Jake.
I know, I'm working on it. It's because this mic is adjusted for Joey.
Ah, that would make sense then. You are a very loud individual compared to Joseph. It's not
why
even his
is
name.
this not
I don't
working?
know why I said that.
If the other microphone was just doing what it was supposed to, this wouldn't be an issue.
Okay, so this is the first day I can declare war because we're a month into the game. So I can finally declare war on England, as we can see.
Finally?
Finally.
We've been playing for 30 seconds.
Yeah. So basically, like I said, we want to jump over this.
What is this? Hold on, stop. What's at the top? What's up with that bar up at the top of the screen?
Oh, here?
Yeah, what's all that?
I'll explain all this. So basically, this is how you open your diplomacy menu here. This shows the great powers of the world. There's 8 of them. They get special functions that they can do. But here you have your treasury. That's how much money you have. Here you have your manpower. That's how many men you have. Here you have your sailors. That's how many men you have. How many sailors you have, obviously. Stability, basically, how stable your country is, gives you either positive or negative modifiers. Corruption, same thing, positive or negative modifiers. Prestige, which basically, how your country looks to the outside world. Again, positive and negative modifiers. It's a lot of mana.
Okay.
And then legitimacy, same thing. As you can see, I have a legitimacy of 100, so I have a lot of positive buffs. And then power projection, which is kind of the same thing. And that's another thing that we get by going to war with Great Britain very early on, is we're going to up this power projection stat because we're going to go and destroy our rival, basically.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
LAW asks, do Germany and Italy exist as countries yet?
No, they do not. So in the world, I think Germany united in 1871, I want to say, and then Italy was like 1850 or something. I don't know the exact year on that one, but they are not. So as you can see, you got to love the Holy Roman Empire up here. We got about a million countries up here. Let's see. So the Holy Roman Empire is made up of how many countries right now? It's this. This is the Holy Roman Empire.
Everything that's colored right now?
Everything that's colored, yes. And basically, so as you can see, it's
why?
Why? Jacob, you're really not helping me out here. You got to do some of the legwork here. I know you know what it is. Jacob. You're not helping me out here. This is horrible. This is my worst nightmare.
Wait, what are you clicking on now?
I'm kicking out advisors.
Who? Why? I don't know what's happening. Explain this game to me.
I'm trying my best, and you keep sandbagging everything I'm doing.
I'm just asking questions.
It doesn't mean I can't ask questions. Yeah, no. So basically, I'm about to declare war on Britain.
Okay.
I'll get more into
all right.
Basically, I have to declare war like right away on them in order to do what I'm trying to do.
Okay.
So I'm gonna get more into like the way the game works after this nice warm up war that we're gonna do here.
So what you're doing right now is you're setting yourself up.
Yeah.
You're setting yourself up to be able to show us how the game works.
Exactly.
Okay, got it.
So this is gonna be nice and chill. If anyone in chat has any questions, I can try to answer them now. But please don't ask me so many questions, so many in a row. I was not prepared for that. What can I say? Such devastation. This was not my intention.
And I'm going to turn on some tunes in a second here because we don't have the game audio piping in. This game doesn't have lovely music, and indeed some of the music from this game will probably be in the playlist today. But we're gonna play our own music just because we can, just because we're allowed to do that because it's YouTube. I mean, actually, we're not allowed to play whatever music we want on YouTube.
Yeah,
it's actually a big problem. But for the purposes of our show, I can do whatever I want as long as I'm ready to contend with the consequences, right?
Yeah. Okay, so basically what I'm about to do is take out a big-ass loan from the bank. I'm now about 600 ducats in debt. And hopefully that doesn't cause the destruction of the French system, but we'll see.
So Joshua, if I was going to put a iTunes bar in a corner of the UI, which corner should I put it in?
Probably the very bottom.
Bottom left?
Yeah, bottom left. That's where basically nothing ever shows up in the bottom left.
Cool.
Unless something weird happens.
Don't worry about it.
All that the bottom left shows is any wars. Like you can see this little shield with England's coat of arms on it. Basically shows that I'm at war with England, and that percentage shows like what percentage I'm either winning or losing, basically.
I see.
Are you kidding me? Okay, I already lost one of my really good generals. He just died. He just kicked the bucket out of nowhere, so that's annoying.
Alrighty, so a couple of questions here we got.
Yeah.
If number 2 pencil is the most popular, why is it still number 2?
I don't know.
Can't get to the bottom of that one today.
That doesn't make any sense. I've been thinking about that one for years.
Circo Duck says, is it okay if I failed world history? Will I be lost? This is a half joke.
I mean, not really. I'm going to do my best to explain. Basically, I'm just going to be painting the map.
Josh is going to change history.
Yeah, I'm basically just going to be painting the map. Actually, the 1400s as a whole, well, the 1400s went decently well.
Painting the map is lingo in grand strategy games where he's just going to conquer a bunch of land and make it all blue. So he's not really going to be playing
because I like blue.
Realistically, following the historical pathing. Plus, the AI would do different things anyway.
Yeah, the AI is going to do different
things. But Joshua will tell us all kinds of fascinating historical tidbits as we play the game, I'm sure, to help contextualize why are there little men fighting on horseback on the map right now.
Yeah.
Who's fighting who there?
That was the British AI being very dumb and just rushing.
But why are the British here on the continent?
Because I'm trying to take their land on the continent.
But what land? But Joshua, I thought that the England, they're like an island off the coast. What kind of which are they the red parts?
Yes.
What about the red and blue that you're zoomed in on right now?
So that's English land that I've occupied.
You've occupied English land. You're already winning, son.
Yes.
Oh my God.
What can I say?
I didn't know we were watching a pro gamer.
I'm so good at this game.
Ali W asks, "Who are you colonizing?"
Who am I going to colonize? That's actually a pretty good question. I think I'll probably try to go somewhat historical French and probably start with Canada, if you will. French Canada and French Louisiana. But I'm really not sure. I usually try to do a bit of everything. So a bit in North America, maybe a bit in South America, some in Africa. We'll see.
Epic Otter. Sadly, I have to head out now. Twitch modding duty. But I hope you have a great stream. Jacob and Joshua, see everybody. And he left a $5 donation saying, here's a little something for the first YouTuber I watched before I enjoyed watching before I head out for modding duty. Stay epic. Stay frustrated, Jacob, with a green heart and an emote of an otter.
That's tough.
Why is that tough?
I'm just sad he has to leave.
Oh, okay. Well, he's going to go mod on somebody else's stream. He's got a job to do. He's got another stream to go moderate on. Fair. We don't have one of those here on our streams, nor do we have any quality control.
Nor do we have any
impressions of professionalism.
Yeah, I was about to say
quality like interface. You know how people all have those cool streaming setups.
Hell no.
Have like a little pop up in the corner that shows you the name of the music track, and then it goes. Yeah, don't have any of that.
Yeah, that only frauds have those.
Well, no, I sure that's fine. Yeah, that's a word we can use for them. That's fine by me.
I'm actually not doing super well right now. However, I do have a massive advantage when it comes to the total amount of men I have left compared to the English and the Portuguese. So, shouldn't be that big of a deal. It's not going super well, but I am going to win this war. Basically, what I'm doing, like I said, by going around the surrender of main event, it makes it where there's a lot less RNG. However, it makes the first war a lot harder. So I'm basically making my life a lot harder in the short term to give us better rewards in the long term. See how much respect I have for the viewers, Jacob?
Sure. I can't see anything right now, if I'm being honest with you. I have no idea what's happening.
Do you not see anything? Is it, like, broken?
No, I mean, like, I see a bunch of colors, and you're mousing over little men on a board.
Yeah.
And there's like a bunch of text on screen.
Oh, yeah.
There's
a
lot
I'm just
going
to get rid of this. How can I get rid of the outliner again? Yeah,
I don't know. No, it can be fine just as long as you explain it.
I mean, no, I don't need any of that right now. It is kind of just in the way of the UI, so that's fine.
All right, got it. Cool. Nathan Berryhill says you need to get classy with your UI then, but I don't know how to do
I was about to say.
But how?
That requires having,
now, Josh was not the only person I could say why, though. How,
why, though?
I guess I could pay someone, but I don't have money. Yeah. I could take the $5 that Epic Otter just gave me, and I could pay someone $5.
$5 on the table right now
to make the stream UI for me. Plus, to be honest with you guys, streaming has ever been a secondary concern. It's only more recently that I've put a lot more time into it. And yeah, nowadays, probably it would be good if I spent a little bit of time to really dedicate to improve the setup, talk to some people who stream much more regularly, more professionally than I do. Maybe seek some help with kind of, display stuff, interface stuff, clean up my OBS setup a little bit, try to figure out what I am going to take soon really drastic steps to potentially fix my microphone situation, though the fact that I'm using this mic, this is part of the reason I stopped, the mic that I'm currently using right now, part of the reason I don't use it on streams is because it's kind of sensitive. You guys are hearing me peak a lot right now, and that's not about the volume that OBS is receiving at, that's about the mic and the way that I talk. The mic that I normally use is much better for my voice, but it seems to, number one, be consistently a lot quieter than other mics that we pump into OBS and streams, right?
Yeah.
So I have to really boost mine up in order to get that signal there, but it doesn't matter because it seems to always have this echo thing going on that I'm not sure where it's coming from. It might be because... and people are going to laugh at me, but this is the way that it is. Two of our mics, the one that I'm using right now and the one Josh was using, are both just USB plugging straight into our computer.
Yeah.
The one that I'm typically using is the only one that's going through a mixer.
Yeah, it's like the only good one. That's why we can't get it to work.
Yeah, the only, exactly.
We're incompetent.
The only actual, no, it's not that. I think it might.
No, it's because we're incompetent.
I think it might be because I've got these multiple different signals going into OBS and only one of them is actually going through a mixer. I think that might be what's causing part of the problem. But I really don't know. It's incredibly obnoxious, and it probably ruined a couple of sections of the Psychonauts 2 videos that we shot a little while ago.
Nothing is going to be ruined about those videos because you just have a complete episode of me and Joey just saying Among Us.
We do have an episode of just you and Joey saying Among Us.
It was a great time. I really enjoyed it.
And you two were losing your minds.
I was really tired, okay? Okay, so basically, I have retaken all the English land on the continent.
Already?
Yeah. I mean, it's been 4 years in-game since I started this war, basically, or 3.5. And basically...
Why?
Why? What? I'm going to strangle you. So basically what I'm doing now is the English have one ally on the continent, that being Portugal down here.
Okay.
Portugal is basically its exact modern borders, so that's pretty easy to remember.
Okay.
But basically what I'm doing here is I am just, I'm sieging down Portugal, taking some of their land so that they will peace out and give me some war reparations, which they just did. And I'm going to now try to make peace with the English because the English don't have any allies left on the continent, and I own all their land everywhere else. So basically, there's this last English army that's hanging out in Spain for whatever reason, and I'm just going to try to blow it up as quickly as possible.
Okay. I thought you were going to try and get peace.
Yeah, exactly. And if I kill this army, I'm going to negotiate.
They will force them to favorable negotiations.
Yeah, so see, I gained 5 war score from that battle.
What does war score do?
War score, do you see this down at the bottom where it says 65%?
Hold on. Do I see that? Yeah, I see that.
Yeah,
okay.
so I brought it up here. So 65%, that means the war is going 65% in my favor.
So that gives you more favorable grounds
peace terms,
to
basically.
negotiate.
Yes, and so I just gained 5 war score. It also lowered their war enthusiasm from medium to low because I beat them so... basically, war enthusiasm is decided by a bunch of factors, but as you can see there, revolts in England being one, and English military strength being another one. Basically, because I blew so much of them up that they are now like in super big trouble, and they also have Lollard heretics running around in Norfolk right now, so they're just not in a good.
Well, what kind of heretics?
Lollard.
What does that mean?
It's some I don't even know that one actually. It's some Catholic heresy. If I was playing CK3, I could look at it for you, but I'm not.
Okay.
So.
But so it's not related to the war. It's an unrelated domestic issues that they're having.
Yes, exactly.
But they are having riots because of the war is going so poorly.
Well, basically, you'll take war exhaustion when you're at war. So basically, if you have provinces that are occupied or you have armies that get destroyed in the field, you're going to have war exhaustion on the home front, which raises your unrest.
Okay.
Which basically makes you more likely to have rebellions like that happen in the homeland.
Okay.
Yeah. But I'm actually about to make peace now. So we're with this war score of 65, I can take back all of Gascony and all of Normandy here in the peace deal. We're not going to take Calais because we wouldn't even border it and we wouldn't be able to like secure it. And then I'm going to also take some war reparations here and some money. So, and you can see like you can on this ticker, there's a peace offer value. It maxes out 100. You can't take any more past 100.
Okay.
And you'll either see a check mark or an X, meaning like whether they're going to accept it or not.
Got it. Okay.
And basically, they'll accept this 75-point offer. So I'm going to send this. And boom, I just took all this land.
Wow.
Yeah, I know.
It's
crazy.
So blue now.
And now I can repay a lot of these loans.
Wait, who did you take loans from?
The banks. And
banks?
also the bourgeoisie.
Your banks? Somebody else's
French
banks?
French banks.
Okay.
Yeah, so they gave me really good interest rates.
Cartridge Jams with a $2 donation. Thank you. Says this game really makes you feel like Europe.
It's true. It really does make you feel like Europe, unless you're not playing in Europe. Then it doesn't really make you feel like Europe. But I agree.
Who's this green boy in the middle of you here?
Haha, green boy.
Yeah, who's that?
This one?
No, to the left. Kind of
the left. This one.
Yeah, that one.
That's Provence. So Provence is a now it's just a region in France, but at one point it was a duchy.
Okay.
And basically,
what are you gonna do about that?
I'm going to murder them.
Okay, good.
So basically, they start as my ally, and I'm supposed to be like really good friends with them because they're the same dynasty as me. We're both part of the Valois dynasty. However, they're in France, and I'm France, and so they will die.
Saying. It doesn't look right at all.
Also, they are enemies with the Pope, which means there's a very strong chance that the Pope will excommunicate them, which makes their provinces way cheaper to take. Like
because
Europe,
they're not going to have any support from
basically, European powers won't be mad at me for taking too much land
if they're not Catholic.
If they're not, I mean, if the Pope's like they're going to be denied.
Who's this encircled red boy in the middle of you, though?
This one?
Yeah.
That's Orléans. That's one of my vassals.
Okay.
So basically, the way France starts.
What is an vassal?
So a vassal in this would mean kind of for the Kingdom of France at this time, it was very decentralized. So you basically had a bunch of dukes that kind of had their right to do whatever they wanted to. The king would expect tax to be paid to him and tribute. However, besides that, they would keep their own armies. It was a very feudal system at the time. So they would keep their own armies. They would collect tax from their people and only give a portion of it to the state. And then basically the King of France would expect help in wars and stuff like that, which is kind of what they're simulating with all these little growths that I have going on here. Basically, here, Valois is one of mine. Armagnac here is one of mine. Foy here is one of mine. Auvergne, I can't pronounce that. And then Bourbonnais, which I also can't pronounce. Okay. Those 5 are all my vassals. I'm going to be able to integrate them and bring them directly into the fold here in a bit.
I
have to wait for a bit and make them really happy with me, but I will.
Who is that? What was that window that just came up a second ago? What was that?
Sorry.
What was that?
So that's an event for after you take Normandy back.
Okay.
There used to be a very strong duchy in Normandy, right?
Okay.
And it gives you the option to release that duchy as its own, kind of the same thing as Orléans or Armagnac here. It gives you the option to release it as another vassal. I don't do that, and it costs you some stability because the other vassals are like, whoa, you're not going to give people rights, you're going to take this directly. However, at this point, it's just better to incorporate this all directly into the French kingdom because it gives us more money.
Okay.
We are still in debt, though.
Okay.
Which is not great. We still have one loan of 128.
So how do we fix that? How do we fix being in debt? And what are the consequences of being in debt?
Basically, being in debt doesn't really do much besides the fact that...
You heard it here first, folks.
No. It's just that you have to pay a slight amount of interest, right? We're not actually running a deficit. We're running a surplus right now. We're making 7 ducats a turn, or 7.27, as you can see here. We're only taking 0.10 interest per month right now. So that means basically, like I said, I was able to get a really good rate because I borrowed from our own bourgeoisie.
Pause the real-time clock for a second while you're explaining this. Just go ahead, because I got another question to ask in a moment. You finished explaining that first.
So basically, as you can see here, this interest value will go up depending on the amount of loans you have and what interest rate you get on the loans you have. I got a very low rate. That's why it's only 10. And basically, as you can see here, we can see that our loan is an estate loan. Basically, the bourgeoisie gave it to me. And it's 150 gold that I have to pay back, right? And so I need to have 150 gold up here in my treasury before I can pay it back. And so right now, they're taking a bit out in interest, but I am still racking up money, and I will be able to pay that back within a couple of years, because this balance here is monthly. So basically, you can think about, 7 times 12, that's like, what, 84? So within about a year and a half, I'll probably have enough to pay back this loan.
Okay.
And I'm also, it's because, as you can see here in war reparations, I'm getting 3 ducats and 59 cents, I guess. I don't know how that would be. 3.59 ducats a month from England and Portugal.
So what are all these things moving around on the ocean? Are these pirates?
No, these are
aliens.
No, these are traders. So these are trading fleets going around.
Trader.
No, trading fleets basically.
Okay.
So basically, I could actually send one of these out too, and I think I will. That's actually a good reminder. So basically,
is this commerce on the peninsula?
No,
the song just started.
No, it means. I think it means the Italian peninsula in the context of the game.
All right.
Or maybe Europe is just a bunch of peninsulas. I don't know what to tell you. There's one here. 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 Here. There's a lot of peninsulas in Europe, so it could have been any of them.
Okay, got it.
Or the entire continent of Europe is kind of a giant peninsula, so it could be that too. I don't know what to tell you.
I see.
It's borderline experimental.
Okay, all right. I like it. Interesting.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. But yeah, now we're just kind of sitting here for a while, and we're just kind of relaxed.
Why?
Basically, because I don't want to incur too many. I don't want to incur what's called aggressive expansion. Basically, if you expand too much too quickly, you're going to get aggressive expansion, and the rest of Europe's going to be very mad at you and form a coalition to take you down.
Oh.
Yes. I didn't take that much aggressive expansion because I was taking back rightful French territory. I was taking back stuff that has belonged to France in the past. It was core territory.
I see.
So taking it back, I didn't incur that much of a penalty. However, if I take more back now, I've basically taken back every French core. So if I go to war again, it is going to be aggressive. And so I'm basically waiting. My hope is to wait until Provence here gets excommunicated, because then I can go in and take provinces for super cheap. But if that doesn't happen in the next 3 years or so, I'm just going in. And by that point, my aggressive expansion will have diminished, and I won't take any negative penalties, basically.
Interesting. So what do we do while we wait in this game?
So you can
What was that? Hold on, what's that? What was that?
What? Oh.
The window, what was that? What happened in that window?
Sorry, those were... so you'll get, basically, every couple of months, you'll get what's called an event.
Okay.
Which basically will just be it will be a choice between some modifiers for your nation. So they can be positive or negative.
Okay.
They're kind of just flavor events. In the other Paradox games, this is a bigger deal. If you've ever played Crusader Kings 3 or something like that, there will be a lot more of this because it's more about character interactions and RPG elements. In this one, it's much more about just kind of which modifiers do you want to give your nation. Why? Because they want to make it seem like a more immersive experience. If you're just sitting here looking at a map all the time, it's going to be like you, and your eyes are going to glaze over, right? So they want to make it a bit more engaging for people like you that have
the Crusader Kings?
Yeah, the Crusader Kings is more your speed, I would say.
So I was making sure I understood. You were saying that one is the one that's more immersive.
That's
the one where you're worried about killing your nephews.
Yeah,
and siring errors and who's getting poisoned and whatnot.
Exactly.
Right? Okay.
Yes.
Got it. Okay. Ali W asks, why do you not have a map of Asia? Did Marco Polo not exist?
He did exist. The only thing is, so this fog of war, at this point, yes, Europeans did kind of know what was going on in Asia. They didn't really know the political situation, though, right? And since this is a political map, if they gave you a political map, that would be a little unrealistic. If we knew exactly what was going on in China, exactly the territorial expanses of different empires in India, that would feel a bit, that would feel unrealistic, I think, is more what they're getting at.
Got it. So while we might have a vague idea of the geography, we're not really up and up on the happenings and the go down and
Absolutely.
I see.
Oh, we can pay back this loan now.
Could you have played as a China?
Yes.
Or who all can you play as in this game?
Everyone.
Everyone?
Yes.
Can I play as Canada?
No, because Canada wasn't a thing yet.
Oh.
You can play as, you can make custom nations in this game. That was something I was doing in the last one, just as kind of a little joke that I did. I started playing as an American cultured nation in America in, like, 1440, and just formed America, like, 300 years early, because I thought it was funny.
Uh-huh.
And you can do stuff like that, or if you played as a Native American tribe, you could form Canada.
Oh.
If you expand enough, so you do have that chance.
Have you ever conquered the world as a Native American tribe?
I've conquered most of North America as the Cherokee one time.
Ooh.
That was a really fun game. I have the achievement to prove it. But basically what we're doing while we wait right now is I'm drilling my army. So basically as you drill your army, you give it passive buffs. You bring your army professionalism up. As you can see here in this bar, it gives you, it basically reduces the damage you take and increases the damage you do. So basically it's just like a flat modifier.
Okay.
So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm drilling my army. That's what we were waiting for. So now Burgundy is going to war with Provence, which is the nation.
Who is?
Burgundy, this nation over here I was talking about before.
Okay, got it. You mean the Burgundy one?
Yes.
Got it.
Oh, crud. I already had claims.
I was just being
No,
an
you're
asshole.
good. I already had claims on all this provincial
I mean,
land. I didn't actually need to build a spy network. I forgot.
Let's be very clear. I'm being an asshole for most of this stream.
I'm aware, and it's horrible. But yeah, so now I'm actually...
Hey, Cartridge Jams, if you're still in the chat, we got more Cartridge Jams music playing. We got the Kyrie Calypso rocking right now, ladies and gentlemen. Basically,
what I'm doing now is I'm going to go ahead and go to war with Provence, even though they didn't get excommunicated, because the Burgundians are already going in on some of their land, and I want to make sure I get everything else. So we're going to go ahead and go in. I'm not going to call any allies, basically because I don't think I need their help. I could call in Castile and the Papal State, which are my two allies.
Those are your only two allies right now?
And all my vassals. But my vassals automatically join with me.
So who are your allies? Say that again?
Castile and the Papal State.
Who the hell are they? I'm a dumb American. I've never heard of them before.
Okay, so Castile is basically Proto-Spain. So
Proto-Spain?
So basically down here, you can see that Spain is kind of divided into a few parts, right? So you have Castile over here on... Oh my gosh, I'll just pause it real quick. So you have Castile over here in the middle, this yellow one. That's basically the Crown of Castile, one of the main countries.
And then Aragon, they just announced a new Disney Plus adaptation of that a few days ago, actually.
Yeah.
To go along with the Percy Jackson one that they're doing.
I see what you're talking about. So Aragon was the other kingdom of Spain. So basically, I'll put it this way. You're a dumb American, right? You've heard of Queen Isabella and King Ferdinand, the guys who sent Columbus over?
Yeah, I've heard of them.
So basically, they... So Ferdinand was the king of Aragon, and Isabel was the queen of Castile.
Oh.
And basically what happened is they married each other and basically brought these two kingdoms into one, is basically what happened. And over time, they just kind of integrated into the same one because they had kids. Their kids became the kings and queens of both. And both kingdoms kind of came together and formed Spain. Why though? Probably because, become big.
Cool, got it.
Yeah, that would be my guess anyways, become big.
All right. Wait, so who's the other one? Who's your other ally?
The Papal State down here in Rome.
Oh, yeah, those guys.
Mr. Pope down there, Populus.
So the Papal State is the Holy Roman Empire?
No.
What is it then? I don't know.
So I'm
having so much fun, you guys.
You're such a dick. So Catholicism, right? That big religion.
I've heard of Catholicism, yeah.
Oh wow, incredible. So Catholicism is led by this dude in Rome that wears a funny hat called the Pope.
The Pope.
Listen to what you're making me say now. But basically, so in this game, the Papal States, but yeah, are you kidding me? My heir just died, and the new heir I got has crappy numbers. Yeah, you're gone. Disinherited.
How bad are his numbers, Josh?
Bad.
Why are his numbers bad?
Because they're bad.
No, I mean, but what do bad numbers mean for an heir?
It means that you get less mana, which means your technology goes up.
Mana? There's magic in this game?
Yes.
How does the magic system work? This is the most excited I've been all night so far.
Basically, you have administrative magic, you have diplomatic magic, and you have military magic. and you shoot enough of this magic to create...
And they all burn the same meter?
Yes. No, they burn different meters, actually.
Wait, so there's different mana meters for different types of magic? So
yes.
So they'll have their own resources?
Yes.
So what's the point of, like, why not just spend all of them?
Oh, that's what you do. You have to gain it. You have to charge up. You have to charge up your mana, and then you shoot it out to get new technologies.
Okay.
Which basically makes your guy more powered up. It's basically passive buffs that you're getting through magic.
Oh, okay. All right. Back to the Papal State. The Pipple State.
Yeah.
The Brobel?
So basically, the Pope came up with this document in the 1400s that said, Emperor Constantine, the emperor who converted Rome to Christianity, he gave the popes the right to all of Italy. This document was a forgery, and basically was just so that the Papal States could be like, hey, give us all of Italy, let us rule it all directly. And because the Pope wanted to rule more of Italy, so the Catholic Church would have more clout, basically.
Right. Okay.
And so the Papal States, as you can see down here, the Pope actually had like a standing army and had land in Italy that he ruled.
And he says he wants all of it.
Basically, yeah.
Okay. How'd that work out for him?
Not too great, mainly because nationalism kind of overthrew that when the Italians came in and won their own kingdom.
Got it. All right.
Yeah.
Interesting. All right.
Didn't work out super well.
Okay.
But now, yeah, so I didn't want to bring them into this war because I just didn't need to. And basically, whenever you bring an ally into war, you see this favors meter down here.
Yeah.
It says 36.
That meter's going to go down.
Basically, if I ask them to come into a war, it's going to drain the amount of favors I have with them.
Okay, all right, that makes sense. You know, this makes a lot of sense to me. This game makes a lot of sense to me when I'm only thinking about 2 mechanics at once instead of the 700 I have to be juggling simultaneously.
It's horrible. But yeah,
So what are these arrows that I'm seeing on the map right now?
This is just your movement, right? So if I say, hey, I want my army to go to Pavia here, this province here, I have to click, and it's basically going to show me the line, the axis on which I'm going to advance.
Who surrendered? Who's status quo?
Oh, so basically this siege, the way sieges work in this game, it sucks. It's my least favorite system in the game.
Okay.
And basically it's just a complete dice roll. And basically, as you can see here, there's a percentage chance that the fort's going to surrender every month, basically.
All right.
And right now it's a negative percentage, so there's no chance, right?
Okay,
and as you go, you're going to get random effects that say, okay, there was a food shortage this month, and it's going to make the defenders' morale go down, which is going to give them an enhanced chance to surrender and stuff like that. It's weird. I hate the siege system in this game. It sucks.
Okay.
That's all I have to say on that. But yeah, as you were saying with the movement system, and that's easy to talk about. So let's say I want to go over here to La Borde or whatever. I'm sorry.
But why do you want to go over there? Just to demonstrate it. I'm sorry. I'm not going to make you answer every single one of these bonehead questions.
No, so basically, as you can see, it kind of makes my own path based on what's going to be the fastest route to get there.
Okay.
Right? However, let's say, there's a big scary army in the way. I don't want to go that way, right? But I really need to get over there. Then I shift click and I can kind of make my own path through and can make myself go around this way, let's say.
Okay.
Like that. So you don't have to go the way that they're telling you to go. That's just like the most expedient route. And if you need to change it up, then you can.
What are all these gray regions in the middle of France here?
Gray regions.
Yeah,
this one?
Yeah, like that. And
that's Armagnac. That's another one of my vassals that I was talking about earlier.
Oh, okay. Got it. Okay. Cartridge Jam says, Jacob and Joshua, if you could pick my next video game remix, what would it be?
That's a hard question, actually.
What have I been listening
to? I didn't think I would have that much power.
What kind of gamer music have I been listening to lately?
I've been listening to a lot of ambient stuff, so I'm probably not the one to... you know what?
What?
Maybe aquatic ambience from Donkey Kong Country.
Donkey Kong Country, aquatic
I know
ambience.
There's like 1,000 remixes of that.
Every self-respecting video game music remixer's gotta have a take on aquatic ambience.
And if you've already done that one, because maybe I missed it, then do Sticker Brush Symphony from Donkey Kong Country 2.
I was gonna say Simian Segway, but that one's good too. Oops.
I really like Sticker Brush Symphony as well.
It's fine, yeah. All right, sounds like it's Donkey Kong Country is the general request here, Cartridge Jams.
It is not Donkey Kong December, but I'm down for Donkey Kong music. This is annoying. So basically, because the Burgundians invaded this other part of Provence up here, I did get enough war score. Okay, never mind. Yoink. So basically, I just took all the provincial land I wanted.
Whoa, when did that happen?
Just right then.
How?
I sent a peace deal and they accepted.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so basically now what I have to do is, as you can see, now my overextension went up. This is because the provinces I just took weren't part of the French core originally, which means I am having to work actively to integrate them into the French kingdom, right?
Carson Jam says, I actually did it the other way. I did sticker, so Aqua's next. I do actually remember now that he has the sticker Brush Symphony remix.
Well, there you go. So
that's my B. That's my B.
So there we go. Aquatic Ambience. That's the one.
Easy
money.
One then.
Yeah. So yeah, as you can see now, I have cost, and each of these provinces is giving me a certain amount of overextension, right? And I have a cost. So basically, I have to use my administrative magic meter to bring these provinces into the fold. I have to diminish my magic supply to cast these spells to bring this these counties in. Do you understand this? Do you understand this?
Run that by me one more time.
Basically, I'm shooting a magic missile at each of these provinces that I'm integrating, and then they become part of my empire.
Okay, got it.
Okay, awesome. I'm glad you understand this, and it makes my little administrative magic meter go down. Oh my god, this is going to be horrible.
Cross says, can you spend your diplomatic magic to ally yourself with the Kong Empire?
There's probably a mod out there. There is probably a mod out there. But let's see. Oh, I just realized we can now start integrating these vassals. They're happy enough with me. They have plus 200, which is the max opinion modifier of
Well,
me.
how do you get max 200 opinion modifier?
Basically, as you can see here, there's a lot of different things that impact it. So one, we're the same religion, so that ups their meter.
Okay,
we have royal marriage, which also ups it. They're a vassal, which gives them.
Well, wait, back up. What's royal marriage? I mean, I know the concept. What does it mean as a game mechanic?
A game mechanic basically means that your dynasties are intertwined. Gives you just makes you more aligned with one another, ups your opinion of one another, and puts you on track for like an alliance. Usually is how it works. You kind of want a royal marriage if you have an alliance. I'll get into personal union mechanics in a bit. That's a bit more complex. We'll get there. But yeah, as for right now, all you need to know is basically I was using my diplomats. I have 3 diplomats up here, and I was using them. I was sending them to Armagnac and Orléans so I could so I can integrate them into the French kingdom. And they're my biggest ones, so I want to get them integrated first because they have the most they have the most provinces and the most money.
The Moldy Cheese says this is just Risk, but with more steps.
Absolutely.
I hate to break it to you, Moldy Cheese. Most board games are just Risk with more steps. Because Risk, other than its like the board itself, is actually dirt simple in terms of its gameplay mechanics.
Yeah.
You take one unit and you point it at another unit, and then you roll a dice, and that determines who wins.
Yeah. I mean, that's basically what's happening here. I'll go more into battles later.
But the modifiers on your dice are extremely complex.
There's a reason that this is a computer game and not a board game.
Yes.
They have made EU4 board games. They're horrible because they're super complex.
Because nobody wants to have to pull out a calculator in the middle of a board game 3 times a turn.
So I just got another heir. I got good old Francois here.
Okay.
He's a bit better. He's still not a great heir, but he's good enough that I'll keep him.
How do you know already?
So basically, as you can see here, he has inherent magic stats, Jacob.
Why?
So basically, when he's born, he's gifted with a certain amount of magic. As you can see here, he gets a certain amount of administrative magic. This is the terms you wanted me to use, asshole.
That's not. No, you said mana. Is it called mana in the game, or are you calling it mana?
Yeah. People in the Paradox community usually call the ticking up, like bars. They call it mana.
Okay.
Just because it's something that grows over time and that you spend.
Okay. All right. Look, I didn't ask you to call it magic. I was just trying to understand the video game.
You're good. I'm just messing with you.
LW says, how long does this game last? Will you rule the world before France canonically lost all its colonies?
Yes, it only goes till 1821. So yes, I will not have to deal with decolonization. There will be no Battle of Algiers.
You can with mods and stuff, like disable upward calendar limits.
Yeah.
But within the basically Paradox, all they do is make these types of games.
Basically.
But they will do. So this is Europa Universalis 4, right?
Yes.
So there were 3 games before this one that dealt with this time period and vaguely similar gameplay mechanics. The idea of each of the various Paradox series is that generally they'll select a different time period and have a very different gameplay focus.
Yep.
So the Crusader Kings series, as Joshua was saying earlier, has a much heavier emphasis on kind of character building and role playing, because you actually will see in little menus the pictures of the rulers of countries, of their wives, of their children, etc. And there's a whole lot of actual, like, so Joshua was talking
You're more playing as it's honestly, Crusader Kings is more of like a tactical RPG in a lot of ways with like the way that character interactions work. more so than this game, which is much more of a standard kind of, as they were saying earlier, kind of a risk type game.
Like Joshua a second ago, he just an error just appeared because game clock passed, and it basically told him as if like it was as an Excel spreadsheet spat out an error, right?
Yeah, basically there's a percentage chance every month I would get an error if I don't have one.
In Crusader Kings 2, there is a significantly heavier emphasis on, like, that error would be a major mechanical focus, because there's a lot of focus on killing other people's errors, killing maybe your own errors under the right circumstances if you don't want a certain person to take over or whatever. That's a major aspect of that game is kind of that level of diplomacy. Crusader Kings taking place in much earlier time period. What's the range on Crusader Kings?
So Crusader Kings goes from, depending on the game, Crusader Kings 2 has a bit of a longer date, but I'll just go with Crusader Kings 3. Crusader Kings 3 goes from, I want to say, 1867 to 1453. So basically, this game started in 1444. So basically, it ends around the time that this game goes. There's a bit of overlap, but not really. Sorry, I just hit the mic.
It's okay.
But yeah, there's a bit of overlap, but for the most part, it takes place in the years before this one.
Okay. And then another series that Paradox does is the Victoria series, Victoria 3 coming out later this year. Correct me if I'm wrong. Obviously, the Victorian era is the general idea. That one was more focused on economics versus
that one is
role-playing.
much more about how to make to industrialize your country and make it an economic powerhouse.
It's about managing the political and economic turmoil of an industrial revolution.
Part of the reason that people love Victoria 2 so much, even though it's like 15 years old, is because it's still one of the most incredible like macroeconomic simulators like ever made, and it's just a video game. So that's why a lot of people love it. And then what's it called? Hearts of Iron 4, which happens after that. So Victoria 2, sorry, I got ahead of myself.
It's okay.
Victoria 2
real quick. Cartridge Jam says, yo, I got a dip. Promise myself I will work on some motion graphics. Good luck. Have fun storming the castle. See you later, man.
Thanks.
Yeah, but please continue.
Basically, so Victoria 2 takes place in the years from 1836, so about 15 years after this game ends.
Okay.
Which is the year that Victoria ascended to the throne, I'm pretty sure, and that's why. Until 1936. So a clean 100 years, right?
So that would be, I guess that would mean that the game clock proceeds much, much, much slower.
Actually, it still proceeds in the normal way. So it would still go
what's the time
day
frame,
by day.
What's the time frame on this?
About 400 years.
No, but I mean, how long does it take real-world time, hours, to play a full game of this versus a game of...
That's fair. So this would probably be, if you went pretty slow, most multiplayer games of this, it's kind of a running joke that it's like a 24-hour game. So if people stream it, it's a 24-hour stream, and it's really goofy, usually.
Okay. Got it.
And then Victoria could be anywhere probably from 6 to 10, maybe 12.
In a multiplayer game?
In a multiplayer or single player.
It's just less. Just doesn't take as much time.
It doesn't take as much time.
Okay.
And then Hearts of Iron
is World War II era, and that's, I would guess, more combat focused.
It's very combat focused, very tactical, and so that goes from 1936 to 1950-ish.
Okay, got it.
And that the time frame, instead of going by days, it goes by hours.
So if Crusader Kings is kind of role playing based, Victoria is economics based, and Hearts of Iron is combat focused, what would you say is the primary focus of Europa Universalis?
It's kind of a bit of all of them.
Okay.
And that's kind of why I like it, is there's not really as much in the character department. One second, I'm just going to pause the game while I'm explaining this.
Sure, go ahead.
But in a lot of ways, it's probably the most about kind of... When thinking of the games in, like, what theme they kind of have, this one's diplomacy.
Okay.
Kind of Crusader Kings is more about kind of the role-playing of how your character is. Victoria is still a lot about diplomacy, but more so it's about economics. This game's kind of the diplomacy game. It's about, okay, the Ottomans are big and scary and going to attack me. Okay, I need to try to rustle up allies to take them on. I need to try to make sure that I get royal marriages with these people to maybe try to get one of my dynasty on the throne so they're more aligned with me, stuff like that. And then you throw in colonialism. It's a lot about expansion too. It is the game about painting the map. In Hearts of Iron, obviously, you can conquer the whole world because it's World War II. But besides that, this is really the only game where it is feasible to conquer the world, because this era was about empires being born, right?
Right.
So it's early game when you're small, it's a lot about diplomacy. Late game when you're big, it's about eating things and becoming big.
Got it.
Is the way I would put it.
Okay.
I hope that explains something.
No, that explains something.
Cool.
So, Video City 1 asks, so is it more or less fun than Civilization?
That's hard. So, bit of background on me. I started playing Civ when I was like, I don't know, probably like, what, 10?
Don't ask me, dude.
I don't know, but Civ was like a very like prominent part of like my gaming experience growing up, Civ 5 especially, a bit of Civ Revolution on the DS as well on car trips, but I played Civ 5 a lot. Civ 6 I'm not as huge of a fan of, but it's still a good game. I played a lot of Civ. The main thing I'd say about Civ is it's better at doing a whole lot, right? Because Civ it goes from 4000 BCE to, you know, whatever modern time it goes to. I don't know the exact stopping year, right?
Sure.
It's a lot more versatile of a game, right? But it's a lot less focused. I hate the idea in Civ, I've always disliked this, of like, okay, you're going to have, okay, let's say in Civ, right, you have, here's England, right? Here's France. In Civ, there's not really a lot of tension between the two for most of the game, probably, because over here, it's just empty space that hasn't been taken, right?
Uh-huh.
And so it's just, oh, I'll go settle over here. You go settle over there. In this, it's like, if I want to expand past the current borders of France, right, with the exception of the vassals I already have, right, I am going to have to find a way to, fight a country like Burgundy, which if I was going to declare war on, let's see, they have 41,000 men and 8,000 horsemen, and that's more than I have, as you can see. I have to try to wrangle together allies and try to take them out. Or, let's say I want to try to go after Saluzzo here, a small country, right? Oh, I can almost vassalize them. They're almost to the point where they would accept me being their vassal, so I would have to go and make an alliance with them, probably guarantee their independence, improve relations, and try to get them into my pocket to be my ally.
Okay.
Right? And it's much more about, like, if you want to expand, if you want to make yourself stronger, it means it is a zero-sum game. There is no way for everyone really to prosper. You kind of have to go and make your own thing. And sure, this is a game about colonization, so there are going to be some tiles that are empty, right? However, even those tiles are going to be claimed by Native American groups, usually, or African countries, or whatever else. Uh-huh. And they're actually, you know, in the game, they're fleshed out into, you know, you can play as them, and it's just as fun of a game in a lot of cases as a European game. So, you know, you can, as I said, I once conquered most of North America as the Cherokee. Like, you can do it. You actually have to, like, you have to consider, okay, if too strong of, even if you have way better technology, it's okay, if too strong of a Native American federation comes up against me, then my colony's not going to be able to expand peacefully. I'm going to have to go to war, so I have to watch out for that. And a bunch of other stuff like that. Like, even colonizing, there's not really a time where you're just going to be able to go and paint the map unless you're doing it at someone else's expense. It's a lot more of you're thinking, like, every second about, okay, who am I going to have to go against next? Who am I going to have to try to subvert in order to make myself better?
Right. Okay.
But Civ is better at a lot of other things. I really like Civ in a lot of ways. I wouldn't say one's necessarily better than the other. They're good at different things.
All right, got it.
Sorry, that was a really roundabout answer.
No, you're good. Anybody else in the chat? Ask Joshua many questions that you have about this video game. Or ask me questions that aren't related to Europa Universalis, because Josh is going to keep playing no matter what you do.
Woo!
So we're just going to be here.
Oh, dang. So Castile just got the Iberian wedding, so basically what happened in real life of basically both monarchs, basically the monarchs, you know, decided to get together.
Uh-huh.
And now it's an event that can fire if either Spain or Aragon has a female ruler and the other one has the opposite sex as a ruler. There's a chance that if they're of the same dynasty, they're just going to automatically marry and bring them together. And basically that usually favors a player. So, like, it'll happen the historical way of Castile ruling over Aragon if it's like if it's just AI. But if you're playing as Aragon, it'll let you rule over Castile and vice versa.
I see.
So, because basically it was kind of like a give and take 50-50 type thing. But yeah, so now they're united, basically. There's still two countries on the board, but basically Aragon's in what's called a personal union. So basically they're basically like a giant vassal. They still have their own army, they still have their own, like, court and everything, but they have to go to war at the same time as Castile. Their interests are more or less one. And eventually Castile will be able to integrate them and make them part of, you know, a larger country, which will be Spain.
Okay, gotcha.
Basically is the way it works.
There's a 10-minute extended version of Cherubi's Steep from Zodiac Age.
You mean Step?
Step, yeah. I'm going to jump to the next one.
Jacob.
Leave me alone.
Jacob doesn't
I'm
know his
tired.
geography.
Joshua, I haven't slept. I was working all day. I'm watching you click on a map. I don't know what's happening anymore, man.
Oh, Nathan Berryhill. I'm glad to hear that I got you into Civ with what I said about it. That's awesome. Yeah, no, I know I talk a lot about it, so I'm glad I got you into it, because, yeah, it's killer.
Cross says, Jacob, what percentage of the screen would you say you understand right now? I'm going to say the map part and the ocean part.
Yeah, that's fair.
No, to be fair, I do understand the top right-hand corner, which is game clock and, like, pause game time.
Yeah, this is score, by the way, up here. This is third. That means you're scored third.
What tracks score?
Oh no.
What are your score points?
Basically,
Do you have to catch the snitch? How do you score?
Basically, it gives you passive points. It weighs a bunch of different factors. I actually don't know all of the factors off the top of my head. Basically, it just, if you do good, score go up.
Okay, got it. And I do understand some of the numbers up in the top left-hand corner. I understand some stuff. And some stuff that I don't know specifically, I can surmise because I know a little bit about game design.
Of you, Jacob.
I'm not as stupid as I'm pretending to be during the stream asking these questions.
Oh, jeez. I'm already almost over my
Molly Cheese says, I can answer that question. I know the map pretty well. Yeah, exactly. See, we understand the map. Ocean counts as maps as LAW. Yeah, exactly. It's a percentage of the screen.
Yeah, if I scroll out like this and it's almost all ocean, then you understand most of it.
I understand those beige bits. That's fog of war. That's a mechanic from StarCraft.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, see?
I'm proud of you, man.
I understood like 50% of the screen just a second ago.
I'm proud of you.
And I've hacked it so that like 3% of the screen is an iTunes bar.
That's crazy. So you hacked the planet? You hacked that Gibson?
Dude, you wouldn't believe how hacked this Gibson is right now.
Holy crap. That's crazy.
I know, right?
Okay, I think it's time to kill Brittany up here.
Brittany?
Yeah.
Why are you killing Brittany? Leave Brittany alone.
No, it's the state.
Does that say Vanitas?
Vanetais?
Okay.
I don't know. I can't speak French.
Close enough.
I butchered that, and I know I did, and I was trying to make it sound like more like Vanitas. But, yeah, no. But, yeah, we're going to come in here. I'm justifying on nonce here. Basically, this area here, as you can see in the Bordeaux. Oh, yeah. Now we're getting into trade, lads. My favorite system from this game.
Yes, let's get into it. Yes,
okay.
I want to know about this. All right, tell me about the trade wins, Joshua.
Okay, so basically, you see all these arrows?
I see the arrows.
Right?
Yeah, there's a hell of a lot of them.
This recommends this kind of represents a trade wind, or like a way that merchants can transport goods. Okay. Right? Okay. So on land, that's also just like roads and stuff, like ways that people usually transport goods. Mm-hmm. Right? Basically, how it works is that if you have trade downstream from something, basically what it means is that you're going to, let's say here, this is the Bordeaux trade node here, named after the French city, obviously.
Okay, all right.
Basically, there's a certain amount of trade value here. It says 1.4 ducats, right?
Okay.
Basically, what I can do is, since I have upstream, these arrows are going towards near where Paris is, over here in the Burgundy trade node.
I know what Paris is.
Or in the Champagne trade node.
I know what Paris is. I know that percentage of the map.
Basically, I can steer trade. My merchants can go in there and basically try to buy up goods and bring them back to my part of the woods, basically. That's why I have ships there. Basically, they're trade ships that are there to try to buy goods and bring them back to my land. I basically then carry them back to my area and trade them there at a higher price, right?
I see.
So basically, I have merchants in these areas.
High price.
Exactly. And so...
I understand now.
As you can see, there are arrows coming in... I hate you.
Sorry.
So as you can see, for this Champagne region, which is the one I'm collecting out of right now, so this is like my base of operations, it has a bunch of arrows coming towards it, right?
Yep,
so it has some in Germany coming towards it. It has, obviously, this one in Bordeaux. But it also has... Where could these be going? These arrows. I wonder where these could be going. That's crazy. I guess we will never figure out that ever, right? But basically the idea is, as France, you could either use Champagne, or let's say you take out some of the Netherlands up here. You could use the English Channel as your trade node, or you could use Genoa as your trade node down here, let's say, because as you can see, the arrows are going away from it. However, the idea is you want to control as much of your trade node as possible. Because that means that there aren't other nations mooching off. They aren't getting in your market, basically, right? So basically, you want your home base to be as controlled by you as possible. And as of right now, I really only control this part right here, right? So I don't have too much of it, which makes it annoying because if you look here at the Champagne trade map, you see this pie chart? That blue is still pretty small in the pie chart.
I see the pie chart.
I'm not making that much money because...
That percentage of the screen, I understand.
Yeah, so I'm not making that much money down here, right? Burgundy's making a lot of money. England's making some money. I can't have that. So that's why I have to take them out.
Got it, okay.
Basically. That's how trade works. I didn't understand that for a while because I never looked it up because I was too proud to look it up, and it cost me hours and hours and hours of my life that I'll never get back. But we are about to invade good old Brittany here because it has a lot of good ports on the Bordeaux trade node, so it will make our nation much richer. Richer, you could say. Oh, crap. I forgot to get rid of my trade fleet. Trade fleet, come back to port so you don't get blown up by the Brittany's fleet. Or the Breton fleet, I should say, not Brittany. So, yeah, Bretons from Skyrim come from Brittany up here.
Oh.
That's where the name comes from.
I haven't played Skyrim in 10 years.
I'm aware.
I don't remember anything from that except Greymane or Battleborn.
So you remember the guy in Skyrim that goes, everything's for sale, friend. If I had a sister, I'd sell her.
I don't remember
Bethelor's the general store in Whiterun, the one that you always go to.
Sure, all right.
That guy's a Breton.
Okay.
And that is named after this area,
okay.
basically.
What's
I don't
named
know
after
why.
Todd Howard?
It's named after God Howard. I'm really not sure.
I feel like there's something in Oblivion named after him, or maybe I'm just remembering.
He's a voice actor in
Oblivion.
Yeah, he's a voice actor in Oblivion. He sounds horrible. It's great. Oh, that's kind of funny. I forgot I'm helping the Spanish continue the Reconquista down here. Oh, they just finished. But it was my vassals were down here sieging stuff down, and I had completely forgotten I was in the war. I'm such a good ally.
There's a pirate ship theme playing now, Josh, and now's the time to do.
Okay. I'm recruiting an admiral. I will name him. I'll name him
Captain Hook.
No, let's see.
Peter Pan.
There we go.
Oh, okay. I like it. I like it.
And Captain Todd Howard's gonna go into battle with this fleet.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, here he is down here.
I believe
you can see the battle going on here.
I hope Joey's watching.
I really hope so too.
Hold on, I gotta tell Joe. Hold on, I'm gonna text Joey. What should I tell? I should tell him what's the most literal I can make this to confuse him. Turn on the stream because Todd Howard is what?
So, turn on the stream because Todd Howard is currently destroying people. I don't know, man. You can figure out something. I'm focused on doing things right now. I should have named him Captain Hook. I didn't realize when you said pirate ship music, I couldn't hear it. I didn't know it was the Kingdom Hearts music.
I kept it simple. I said, yeah, you need to turn on our stream. Captain Todd Howard has set sail and is engaging the enemies of France.
It's nice.
He said he was gonna watch so he could learn how this game was played.
Yeah,
I don't think he's here.
He lied.
He missed most of your
I forgot to name my generals. I just recruited them and they got like standard French names.
He's gonna understand even less of the map.
Oh, I need to. They're blockading me up here in the north. I can go and.
Since there's a KH track
Let's go, Todd.
And I made the joke.
Todd,
the joke about Vanitas, and someone said, "Oh, KH brainworms." I'm gonna say something right now because people may wonder like how much
Vanitas.
How much of it really is brainworms, and how much of it is me being a comedy man and trying to appease my audience. Joshua, how much do I talk about Kingdom Hearts in my day-to-day life?
A lot.
Yeah, and how much of it is just to annoy you?
A lot.
Yeah, exactly.
Like most of it.
Exactly.
Oh crap! I forgot one of them. Yeah, one of their allies is Strasbourg over here in Alsace, and they're sieging down.
They have all the sauce in Strasbourg sauce?
What did you just say?
You said Alsace. It sounded like
I said Alsace, as in Alsace, Lorraine.
Yeah, they got all the sauce, dude.
If there's like one place in France you should know about, it's that one, since like every world war has been fought over it.
And that's exactly. They got the sauce down there, man. They all go fight over it.
You're doing some President Corey stuff right now.
President Corey, what is your solution for Israel? President Corey, there's been a 10-foot level rise, and there's a 10-foot sea level rise, and all you can talk about is a healthcare plan based on fruit snacks and salty crackers for all. What are you gonna do about these issues, President Corey? Listen, okay? Declassify it. Weather will happen. It'll get hot. It'll get cold. Just deal with it. Joey Boom just appeared in chat and says, "You see that nation over there? You can conquer it." It's true, Joey.
He's got jokes.
Oh man, it's true. We're here to expand.
Yeah, no, here's Todd Howard, Joey. As you can see, this fleet is led by Captain Todd Howard.
In this game, France is referred to in the EU4 fan base not as the blue blur, but the blue blob, because by end game, if you're playing it correctly, you will have blobbed out over the entire map.
Yeah, you basically morb out on the entire map.
Oh, you get to morb in this game?
Yes, you do.
He doesn't even morb in the movie, dude.
I know! It's so disappointing. Like, I went to that movie, the second time they re-released it, and it made like $5. Those $5 were me. I just wanted to see him morb, and then he didn't, and I walked out.
Sheila says, but not with that pronunciation, please. I'm dying in 2 languages right now. What, when I said the all sauce?
Yeah, it's...
Allspark? The Allspark from Transformers? That was what they were fighting over in World War II? In France?
It wouldn't have been... Well, it depends, because the French call it Alsace-Lorraine, and then the Germans call it, like, Alsace-Lothringen or something. I can't pronounce it in the German, but...
Okay.
Oh, I forgot. Yeah, the Milanese Succession is happening right now.
What's that?
Basically, there was an event where Milan, the city-state, got thrown into complete chaos.
Why?
And there was basically... The king died, or the duke died without an heir. And he... and basically, he had ties to both the Austrian throne and the French throne.
Okay.
So basically, both... The people in Milan declared a republic.
Okay.
And the French and the Austrians were both like, no, it's ours because we have these dynastic claims to it. So historically, when this king dies in the game, you get an event to try to go take it as the French.
Ah, sugoi.
So I'm going to go ahead and get this restoration casus belli on
Hey,
Milan.
Josh, can I ask you another question?
Yes.
How the hell do you know all this stuff?
It's a lot of video games.
Oh, so you learned it from this video game?
I also might be... I might also be, like, less than a year away from a history degree, but that doesn't really matter that much.
Destiny!
I've learned more from this video game than I ever did from any of my history classes.
You heard it here, folks, but here's the thing. Buying a Paradox game and all its DLC will cost you almost as much as college tuition.
Yeah. Might cost more.
Joshua, how much does it cost to buy everything for EU4?
I'm not gonna say.
How much does it cost to buy everything for EU4, and have you bought it?
The answer is yes. However, I bought most of it on sale.
Ah.
Usually, if you buy it not on sale, it's like 200 something bucks.
How much does it? What's the most expensive complete Paradox Games package? This?
EU4.
Okay, got it.
I want to say most of the other ones are under 200 bucks, like, easily. But this one, it's been getting updated. Basically, it's had, like, 20 updates, and most of them are decent.
Mm-hmm.
And every time, each update sells for, like, $5-10 bucks.
Okay.
And usually, within a year, they're on sale on Steam for, like, $2, and that's when I buy them. So, like, I probably didn't spend more than... I probably spent... Probably 2 retail price games I spent on this game. But I've put enough hours into this to justify it. So when you like the game as much as I do, I'm not going to complain about it.
Sheila Flower says the German and the French pronounce that location the same, and it's not the way you pronounced it.
Okay. I don't think that's true. But okay.
I think Sheila Flower lives in Germany.
Nah! That's ridiculous. There's no way I could be wrong. There's no way the dumb American could be wrong.
Listen, how can you expect him to know how to pronounce all of these places as well? There's a lot of information in the world that you gotta know.
I know they say Metz and Strasbourg the same way, but I want to say that they at least used to pronounce it differently, I think. I'm a history guy. I'm not a modern guy, so...
He only knows what used to happen.
Yeah, what can I say? I don't know what happens now.
Speaking of people not knowing what happens now, Ninja Bunny theorizes, I've been thinking that there's a lot of people out there who only played KH1 or KH1 and KH2, and they haven't played a game, period, since 2006. What if you took them and a bunch of up-to-date fans in a room and made them argue about KH? Like, imagining being flung to the 2050s and then immediately having to argue politics with someone from then. I think it may be like that.
Maybe. Okay, I just got a new general. His name is General Scales. I'm throwing him into
You named him General Scales?
Yes.
Awesome. Where's he going? Where's he gonna go fight?
He's gonna go fight in Strasbourg.
Is Krazoa Palace there?
I hope. I'll build it.
Okay, cool. Can you build palaces in this game?
You can, actually.
What's the mechanics behind building palaces?
So basically, well, you can build a ton of different buildings. As you can see here, there's this giant list of buildings that you unlock as the game goes on. However, for palaces, you can see there are certain great projects, right? Like here in Paris, there's the great project Notre Dame, and also Versailles, right? So I could build both of these up. Versailles hasn't been built yet. It's completely insignificant because I haven't built it yet. Versailles wasn't built until like 1700.
Why would you build these things?
Because they basically give you passive buffs, kind of like wonders in Civilization.
Okay.
And so like this having 2 is really rare. Like usually provinces don't have 2. Like most provinces don't have any of those, right? They're just like bog standard provinces. Let's see, where's another one?
You can only build them in their historically accurate
like there are
locations.
Dutch polders, basically, land reclamation in Holland. You can get advantages from that.
Okay.
London has the Tower of London. You can get stuff from that. Basically, a bunch of different places have stuff. So you have Alhambra down here in Spain. That's one. You have, let's see, where's another one that I can think of off the top of my head? Oh yeah, over here you have the Hagia Sophia. Over here, and then let's say you also have the Historical Center of Prague, other stuff like that. So basically, just different stuff scattered around the map that you can get. You have the pyramids down here, I'm pretty sure. There's some stuff in Mecca and Jerusalem, I think. Other stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Joshua.
What?
Which of the Paradox games have voice acting?
None.
Okay, so how would you be expected to learn the pronunciations of all of these different counties?
I wouldn't.
Oh, okay, got it. Cool.
Yeah. I'm just a dumb American. What can I say? Technically, my degree isn't going to be in anything having to do with this time period, so yeah. What can I say?
Well, no wonder you learned more from the game than you did from the degree.
I know I can pronounce all the stuff up here pretty much. Like,
no, you can't.
Yes,
Zoom
I can.
in on Wales.
Oh no! My weakness. Here we go. Glamorgan. Oh, Montgomery. That's easy. Gwynd. And Carmarthen.
Oh, these are like relatively normal. All the freaky Wales names don't exist yet.
Yeah.
Or at least they're not on this
No.
map.
It's because they've been Anglicanized because they're under the British.
Of course,
right?
naturally.
So,
yeah.
But yeah, I can pronounce Gloucester. I can pronounce Dorset. I can do all that.
There's a bunch of
See?
I think it's.
I'm not a fraud.
I think it's one of the map men. I think it's one of the map men videos, like talking about how British towns got their insane names.
Oh yeah, because you had the Norse invasions, you had the Normans coming in, so it's like a lot of the names.
You had Roman invasions.
You had Roman invasions, so it's like basically all British towns are like these fusion names between all these different cultures, basically.
And it'll be like the Romans the Romans showed up and there was already a town there and they mispronounced the name and they held it for long enough that the mispronunciation became the name.
It's kind of crazy. Like the only town I can think of that it's really not true for is London, because like back in the Roman days it was Londinium, and now it's London. Like that's pretty close. But a lot of the other ones are like nowhere near. Like York is one of the ones in particular that's been changed a lot because there was a heavy Viking influence up there. But there's a lot of differences in town names in Britain for sure. Okay, so now
Cross said, yeah, but if you look at the text enough, you'll learn how people said it there natively 1,000 years ago.
It is actually, there's a couple of instances, like if Denmark took provinces that were part of the Danelaw back in like the Middle Ages, then a lot of these provinces would get changed back to like their traditional kind of like Norse sounding names. Like this, York would change to Jarvik and stuff like that. Okay. So it's kind of cool.
If anybody has any European history questions, let's see who can stump Joshua.
I don't think I'm that good at it.
Who can ask Joshua why their parents got divorced? He's gonna answer all historical questions. He'll field everything.
Well, let's just go ahead and lay it out. You were the reason for the arguments.
You were the reason for the arguments.
Your dad, right?
Why did my parents get divorced, Ray? Please explain it to me. Ninja Bunny said all you need in order to say Welsh names is to play Fire Emblem. Is that true?
No.
Ali W says, I feel like everything comes back to Fire Emblem with you, Ninja Bunny.
I mean, yeah.
Is there a lot of Welsh stuff in Fire Emblem? I ain't played any Fire Emblem. I think, ironically, the one that I've watched the most of is probably Fates.
You dumbass.
I think I watched, like, like a little more than half of the Conqueror campaign or whatever, because there was like there were two I guess there were 3 campaigns. I don't remember what they were called. There was like the heritage and loyalty.
It's something like that. I don't freaking know,
the one where
man.
you stay with your evil adoptive family and you try to fix it from the inside, and it doesn't work very well.
No. They become slightly less of murderous
Cross says,
scumbags.
Josh, why did my parents get divorced? Ninja Bunny said, it's true. I assume that everything comes back to Fire Emblem for Ninja Bunny.
Okay, so in a few years, this truce with Milan is going to be over, and I'm going to try to rush in there and get a personal union on them before they ultimately collapse, because they're down to like 2 provinces. They used to be all this land here, which is actually good, because it means if I get them with basically no land, I can launch a reconquest on all the land around them, take that all back for basically free, and just give it to them, and then I integrate them later on in the game.
Sonny T, apologies if this is too dark. Feel free to delete. If so, Joshua, why did my dad have to die? Listen, life, death is a part of life. The great circle of life. It's all in the song, ladies and gentlemen. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. As all things begin, so too must all things end. Life emerges from darkness, and so too must it return. Behold, Kingdom Hearts.
I hate you.
You look as hard as you are able. You will not find even a single glimmer of fun. You and I still need to watch the Ask Your Uncle review of KH3 because you haven't watched it yet. But I think it's when he's doing the Olaf minigame in KH3 when you have to put Olaf back together.
Oh my
and
gosh.
he starts like slurring his words, explaining what's happening. And there's a hard cut to black, and it cuts to the scene from the ending of Kingdom Hearts 1 where Billy Zane is like, behold the depth of all boredom. Kingdom Hearts, look as closely as you are able. You will not find even a single glimmer of Kingdom Hearts 3. You will look as closely as you are able. You will not find even a single glimmer of fun.
That's quite good.
Important. Cross said birthright and conquest. I think
That's
I said
what it
conqueror.
was,
I was
yeah.
close. And revelation. Important that revelation is singular because you only learn one thing, and it's the game that is a waste of money.
Yep.
I assumed revelation was kind of a longer campaign. Is it super short? I guess.
From everything I've heard, it's pretty short.
Okay, I really didn't know that much about.
The other 2 are longer, from what I know.
I mean,
I don't know too much, but
I knew that they were longer, but I didn't know what the state of that Revelazione campaign was.
It looks like the Bretons are about to rise up and try to form High Rock again.
Sheila Flower says, Joshua, you will have my ultimate respect if you can answer this because most French don't even know this one. The French county of Orange, despite being in the middle of France, used to belong to what nation?
Where's Orange? I'm not sure where that is.
No, it's orange, like the fruit,
No.
you idiot.
No. I don't, Jacob, can you tell me approximate area of where that is? And then I think I'll be able to guess it.
Orange?
Yeah. The county in France.
I don't know.
Okay.
You want me to Google
I mean,
it?
Based on orange, I would
cheating?
guess the Netherlands, but it's not going to be that because that's too simple.
Would that be cheating if I told you where it was?
I don't know. You can ask her because I can take a shot in the dark, and I feel like I'd have a pretty good shot, but I'm not sure with that one on top of my head.
You want to take a shot in the dark without the information, and then I give you the geographic location, and we can see if you were right the first time or if you needed the assist.
No, I'm gonna need the assist. Otherwise, I'm gonna guess like 1 of 5 countries.
Okay, let's see. All right, I'm trying to figure out its
Yeah, it's
location.
orange. That's what I was about to say. Yeah.
Let's see.
Did you know that the name orange actually came from the fruit before the color? Basically, yeah, the fruit orange made the color orange into the color orange. It wasn't the other way around. They didn't name an orange because it's orange.
Sheila Flower says Joshua pronounces it correctly.
Yeah.
So you got you
I got one. Yay!
You're both incorrect. It's an orange. I've been buying them and eating them my whole life. I know how to say orange, okay? Thank you. Let's see. Hold on. Can I get information about? Just
kind of give me the
I'm
geographic
working on
area.
it. I'm working on it. I'm gonna try to tell you where.
Because I kind of know where in France different stuff was. I just don't know exactly where Orange is. Off the top of my head.
I'm seeing an old map, so it's not really good information for me here. Hold on.
Just kind of like pull up Google Maps. Give me a city that's near it. Like a big city. I'll be able to infer it, maybe. Because a lot of different nations had land in France over time. The Papal State had Avignon for forever. I want to say, yeah, the Austrians had a lot of stuff that was in former Burgundy for a while. You probably had enclaves of different nations. Obviously, the Brits owned a ton of stuff in France for a while. The Brits honestly probably owned it at some point, just because Britain owned like half of France.
I'm probably going to mispronounce this. It was in Provence, near the east bank of the River Rhône.
It's the Papal State. It's the Papal State. It's right here. Would be my guess. Otherwise, it's Aragon, because Aragon also owned land up there at one point, because Duke René. Be my guess anyway. If we're going with this time period anyway. Later on, it might be someone else's
I don't
land.
know if that was more information than Sheila Flower would consider to be
I didn't know where Orange was, if I'm being completely honest. So, like, I would have had no idea.
Okay, got it.
I would have guessed just Britain, because Britain owned half of France at one point, but that would have been too easy.
Okay. So
that's why I kind of needed location. It would be the Papal State, because they owned all the area around Avignon.
Got it. Well,
I would guess anyway.
I read the information, but I only skimmed it, so I'm not going to say.
That's my guess. I mean, I absolutely might be wrong.
If my quick skimming was correct, then that was good.
Oh, I forgot to lower.
Sheila Flower says you were right at the beginning. It was Netherlands.
Oh, well then that would make sense with Orange, because Orange, yeah, House of Orange owned the land. Huh. Well then, never mind. I psyched myself out. With a name like Orange, it's pretty easy to think House of Orange and think Netherlands, but I'll take half credit then. Because that would have been my shot in the dark guess if I hadn't known where Orange was, just because it's, you know, Orange, Netherlands, but...
Maybe I should take over playing the game for a minute, and you can read
No.
the Wikipedia page.
No.
And you can learn some history.
No. Trust me, you don't know what you're doing, and even I'm less scared.
I could pause it.
No. I'll put it this way: I'm less scared that you don't know what you're doing. Because if you did know what you were doing, you could nation ruin me in like a month. If you really wanted to, you could destroy me. Because all you have to do is just press Control-click on loans. Take out as many loans as you can, you would bankrupt me.
Principality became part of the scattered holdings of the House of Orange-Nassau.
Yep.
Nassau.
Mm-hmm.
From the time...
I think it's Nassau, by the way.
From the time that William the Silent inherited the title of Prince of Orange from his cousin in 1544, until it was finally ceded to France in 1713 under the Treaty of Utrecht.
Let me come over there. Utrecht. Yes, Utrecht.
Although permanently lost...
Utrecht is a city in the Netherlands.
Although permanently lost to the Nassaus then, this fief gave its name to the extant royal house of the Netherlands.
Interesting.
There's a lot going on here that I'm not going to try and read in the middle of this.
Yeah, no, it sounds like...
stream.
I'm not surprised by that. I didn't know how big Orange was either.
That it was 280 square kilometers.
Okay, yeah, that makes a bit more sense. Because, I mean, Avignon was also a really small patch of land. And that's why if she had meant Avignon, like the area controlled by the Pope, she would have said Avignon. But that was the only one who I knew owned land in Provence. So that's on me.
It's just a weird tiny spot on the map.
Yeah, that's how medieval Europe worked.
Yeah, that's how it is.
You gotta love the border gore.
Sheila Flower said half credit is fine, not ultimate respect, but pretty high respect.
Yay! I'll take half credit. That's how I manage good grades in school. It is copious amounts of half credit.
Hold on a second. Hold on. Somebody said, because there's some more talk about Revelations a second ago. Ninja Bunny said Revelation is the longest actually, but not by much in Fates.
Really? I thought it was one of the smallest.
Fire Emblem does the chattest thing that fantasy stories can, and just names all its stuff after real life.
No, dude, the best is in frickin' Valkyria Chronicles, where you have everything is just Europe and one letter off. Like, you have besides just the villains being the like the Arcadian Empire, like that's at least slightly different, even if Final Fantasy XII did it. But then you have like, you have the Atlantic Federation is like one of the forces, and they're basically just NATO. You have the United Kingdom of Edinburgh, and then you have the United States of Vinland. It's like the most on the nose.
There's
shit.
a snow shoveling chapter in Revelazione. Revelation has like around the same amount of chapters as the other two, but some of the chapters are incredibly long and tedious, like the Dead Ghost Parents chapter and the Snow Shoveling chapter.
Excuse me?
There's a snow shoveling chapter?
Hell yeah.
In the third campaign that's locked behind DLC, the snowball fight is the tutorial of Final Fantasy Tactics
Advance.
You don't make me do that in the third
That's
secret
ridiculous.
campaign I paid money for.
How
Nintendo.
dare you? Okay, well, Milan had been reduced to one province by the time I got here. So I'm not really conquering much, but I am about to restore my union over Milan, so I guess that's nice. Yay. I got the city of Milan, and I don't even own it. It's just one of my subjects now. However, that does give us the power to declare war on Savoy and take all of Milan's land back for them.
Okay,
So,
we're gonna go to war
wait,
again?
what?
What happened? What happened? What are all these windows? What's happening?
Oh, God.
What happened?
Basically, if a personal union, if your king dies while you're in a personal union with someone and they don't have a positive opinion of you, they will break off the personal union. My king died literally the second I unpaused after the war. Granted, he was old. But it means it's still the game screwing me over. It's fine. I'll go back in 5 years and take them back over again.
What did you lose?
I lost my PU over Milan. Like 1 day afterwards.
After you took it. Got it.
Yeah. I will be able to go back to war with them in 13 years. And I'll take it back. That's really annoying.
Ninja Bunny, look it up. It's so bad. No, you literally have to shovel out snow. Like, every tile is covered in snow, and you have to take a turn with a unit to shovel it away.
That's freaking terrible. That sounds
like
asinine.
Innovative new tactical role-playing experience to me.
Well, I have another idea.
I'd rather play that than Xenoblade Chronicles 2.
Here's what I'm gonna do instead.
I'm sorry, before you say what you're gonna do instead, I only said that. I don't even have that much. I don't really care that much about Xenoblade Chronicles 2 one way or the other. And if anybody likes it, that's fine. But just like I was watching a review for Xenoblade Chronicles 3, I think yesterday or earlier today, and I got like halfway through it before I realized I literally don't care, and I closed the review. Like, I was just like, I'm not even paying attention, and I don't care about this game, and I closed the review.
Oh, the question about...
Which is a shame, because I like the original one.
So, Ali W, yes, everyone can do royal marriages. The main thing for me, the reason I haven't been doing it that much, is because, as you can see up here, diplomatic relations. I have a lot of diplomatic relations with people, because basically, if I have too many diplomatic relations with people, I will lose diplomatic power per month, because it's like I'm having to do more diplomatically than I should have to anyway. And the main reason I would have had too much is because of all of these vassals I have. I've now integrated most of them so I can start making more alliances. As you can see here, I only have 4 out of 7 diplomatic relations. So I can go and make new alliances with people. That's actually a good idea. I'm actually going to go make an alliance with Bohemia over here.
That sounds like a great idea.
That's what I think. I also just don't want Austria to take over them, and they usually get Cassius Belli to put them under a personal union, because that's what happened historically.
Ninja Buddy says Xenoblade X is like the best Xeno game, in my opinion, but I guess that one's not canon. I mean, are any of them canon? Is anything? None of it happened.
Nothing is really canon when you think about it.
None of it really occurred. It's it's like made up, right? It's not real.
Shut up.
Joey likes Xenoblade Chronicles X.
Yeah, he does.
I think
Poor guy.
I think he and Ninja Bunny might be the only people on the face of the planet who have played Xenoblade Chronicles X.
It was all a dream or something, right? Spoilers.
No, that's not. No, that's incorrect.
Okay, my bad.
Are you being sarcastic? Or
yes, I am being absolutely sarcastic. I'm just trying to screw with people.
Because I was like, Joey literally talked to you about Xenoblade Chronicles X the last time you were here, or last time he was here.
Yeah, I know.
Which, by the way, folks, he will be back tomorrow for more Breath of the Wild action, by the way. And then this channel is going to go into deep hibernation for 10,000 years.
Deep slumber.
10,000 years, Sonic! 10,000 years! Ninja Bunny says, no, Xenoblade 1 happened. Also, Xenoblade X is gonna happen.
That's funny.
Oh, boy. Anyway.
Back in 10,000 years.
No, but for real, after we're doing another Breath of the Wild stream tomorrow, and then I'm going to be really busy for quite some time, so if anything happens on YouTube, it's probably going to be a little bit of stuff for the main channel. I may get... I'm going to try and get the Psychonauts 2 ramble out that we are that we shot a little while ago.
The Among Us ramble.
The Psychonauts 2 ramble, which people are going to be so confused about. You keep talking about, like, I think another thing we were talking about, it's the Among Us playthrough.
It is.
For the first 3 hours, it's not.
Our Among Us playthrough.
In the last video, people wouldn't shut up about Among Us. People would not stop posting Among Us. On TikTok, it's all memes. On Discord, it's all effing memes. So yeah, Breath of the Wild, more of that tomorrow. Probably Psychonauts 2, our research ramble on Psychonauts 2, just the first, like, 3-4 hours of it. That's going to be sometime this coming month, but it's just going to be when I have time, because I'm going to be very busy. Some main channel stuff, and probably another Rigel Black Chronicles discussion, because Aiden and I have literally finished discussing the 3rd book, but only the first, like... We filmed 4 more discussions than what I've currently released, because we're basically going to do as many, basically each book, whatever number it is, that's the quantity of discussions we're doing, just because that's how big the books are. Though, frankly, with how big book 4 is, we should probably break it up into 5 discussions, not the 4 that we're going to do. But anyway, the back half of book 2's discussion has already been recorded, and all 3 discussions for book 3 have already been recorded, but no editing has happened. So I'm probably going to, at least, if no other edited content comes out on research runs this month, probably going to get the second part of our Rigel Black Book 2 discussion out, just because it's been a couple months since the last one. And while we are updating that very slowly, I'm not going to go slower than the actual fanfiction is being updated. And if I can get the next episode of that out before another chapter of the fanfiction is released, I'll feel satisfied. We're about 7 months out from the last chapter, and it's killing me. But it's all the more reason to push me to get this other episode out so I can beat Violet to air, so I can beat her to press time. And Aiden and I are both reading book 4 now. Hopefully we'll record the book 4 discussion soon. But all those things are, like, those discussions, like, I'm not going to get more than one of the Rigel Black discussions out, like, every month or every other month, just with the way that just with how busy I am. Hopefully the Psychonauts 2 ramble will start up next month. Maybe finish next month, but that remains to be seen. And then probably in September, if we're lucky, sometime in September, the Uncharted 4 playthrough will start up. And hopefully another LP. But that other LP basically hasn't started production yet. We actually started, there's another LP that we started shooting.
And then they just stopped shooting
last spring, and then we just stopped shooting it. For a variety of reasons that I'm sure I'll talk about another time. So, I mean, I guess technically some work has been done on it, but that work will be scrapped. Yeah, but other than that, yeah, we've done a bunch of streams this month. I hope you guys have enjoyed them. Like I said, one more Breath of the Wild stream tomorrow. And then after that, research run's gonna slow down for a little. I mean, Joey and I might still stream here and there, but I'm gonna be super busy with, like, my actual job. And we have no content in the tank for research runs right now that's finished. So, one Rigel Black discussion next month, maybe Psychonauts 2, maybe Joey and I will have time to stream Breath of the Wild or some other one-off stream, like, once. That's probably going to be all you guys are going to get next month, so sorry, hope you've enjoyed these streams. If you haven't, go back and rewatch them. Or, I mean, rather, if you haven't watched them, go back and enjoy them. If you did watch them but just didn't enjoy them, sorry, can't do anything about that.
Tough.
That's what I say. That's what I say to complainers and whiners who think that our stuff isn't good. Is just tough.
Well, I'm glad I didn't click that on that prompt.
What happened?
Basically, I got a prompt that gives you basically an illegitimate heir. Basically, it's like, oh, it's a night party. Who are you gonna go hang out with? The hot girl or the advisor that you can recruit?
And you almost clicked hot girl.
Yeah, because it was a good stat for the heir. Like, it shows you the stats you would get, and then I just naturally just, month clicked over. I got a new heir who was better.
Got it.
So I'm really glad that I hovered over it for a second. What am I thinking? It's the Middle Ages. It probably wasn't that good looking. Probably inbred.
Sunny D says, watch the chapter drop as you post it or something like that. Murphy's Law is a brat like that. Well, technically, like the day before I put out the first discussion, I think. No. I remember what it was. The day that we put out the Uncharted 2 episode where I talked about the fanfiction for the first time was the day that the first chapter of Book 5 released. I'm pretty sure.
That's correct.
Yeah, I was thrilled, man, because I couldn't wait for Book 5 to start. Could not wait. Have I mentioned that Harry Potter fanfiction? I think it's pretty good. Have I mentioned that before? Have I haven't mentioned that before on the show?
It's so hard living with this man.
You're leaving. You're leaving again soon. He has to get away from
Free at last. Free at last.
He has to go. He has to
Thank
go
God Almighty, we are free at last. I'm just kidding. I'm just riffing.
Circo Duck says, take your time and take a break. To be honest, it's all good. I don't know if you were saying, to be honest, it's all good, like your content is good, or to be honest, it's all good, take a break. Regardless, I appreciate it. However, I won't be taking a break. I'm going to be working really hard, just not on YouTube.
Jacob has a full-time job, ladies and gents. So usually when he's not around, it means he's doing something.
Or I'm depressed.
A lot of something.
Or I'm depressed.
Well, that can also happen. I can confirm that does indeed happen.
That's fine. Don't worry about it. Flower said, we gonna miss you, though. I don't know if that was directed at Joshua leaving, me quitting.
It definitely wasn't about me
leaving.
leaving.
It could be. It could be both. She could also just be saying it to be nice.
Yeah.
Just to be polite to both of us. Oh, man, you're going away? Boo-hoo. I will just be over here
doing better things with my life.
Being a talented artist. Boo-hoo, boo-hoo. If you weren't in the stream where we talked about it last time, folks, Sheila Flower over there in the chat did the art for the most recent upload over on the main channel for my appearance on the Night Sky Princess show. The highlight clip of me cracking Final Fantasy 16 wide open.
Man, he's so smart. I wish I was him.
Cracking that son of a gun wide open. Oops, you just bumped my microphone a little bit, but that's okay. Or I'm depressed. Big mood, my dude, said Sunny D. Nah, most of the time I'm fine these days. Though there's a lot of just a lot of I don't have energy. I need to do something other than, I have a break from work and I'm real tired and I could do YouTube right now, but I probably would be depressed if I did do the YouTube.
Jeez.
No. Not that YouTube is depressing. Just, sometimes you need a break. Sometimes you need that little
mental
help.
I'm with you.
Sometimes you're working really hard, and sometimes your hobby, even if it's really fun, sometimes you need to do nothing for a hot minute. Sometimes you need that break.
I should have taken Nice, too, since I'm trying to do kind of modern borders France.
Well, you were just talking about it. Never mind. I was going to try and make a joke. I was going to try and turn Nice into like a niece, like a family member, and I was like, the joke died on my lips.
I see what you were trying to do. You tried.
The joke died on my lips. If this was Crusader Kings 2, I'm sure I could have engineered
it would have been very easy to engineer it with that one. It's great when your dynasty's too inbred and everyone starts getting Habsburg jaws. It looks great.
I love Habsburg jaws. Why don't we use those more in character design?
Why do we not use? Because it makes you look like Lord Farquaad or the Crimson Chin.
Exactly.
It makes you look more like the Crimson Chin.
Like the Crimson Chin.
The Crimson Chin.
He had the Habsburg Chin for sure.
Oh, the Crimson Chin.
I mean, that's just an indication of how powerful they are. Just like the Crimson Chin, he's got that invincible chin. He hits
Iron
things with.
Chin.
Because all those folks with the Habsburg chins, they were just super strong, right? They were very physically healthy and capable, and that chin was an indication of their physical
fortitude.
Fortitude, the ticket of fortitude.
Which you got the ticket of fortitude.
The ticket of fortitude they inherited from their birth from a powerful, not at all inbred and biologically weakened family, and from being born by like 14-year-old girls. You, Joshua, were talking to me about this earlier. We were looking at art in the background of some of like the album covers for the soundtrack of this game. And I was like, well, those characters look young. And you're like, yeah, they probably are. They're probably like 13.
Yeah. One in particular, I'm pretty sure that with Louis the 16th and Marie Antoinette, I want to say Marie Antoinette was like 13 when they were married, and Louis the 16th was like 15, maybe 14. And it was like, and as was the thing in the day, all of the freaking courtiers and all of the advisors come into the royal room after they're married, and they're like, okay, we gotta see the thing happen now, guys, so we know there's an heir on the way. And they were just like both like, no. And they were like,
weird.
what? What? Why do you not want to do it? So, yeah.
Sunny D said, fine, I'll just be depressed alone then, see if I try to empathize with you again.
Oh my gosh.
Nah, listen, man. We all have those days.
Listen.
We all feel bad sometimes. It's more just about, especially here on this show, I don't like coming out here and being like, I mean, first of all,
you want to be a good host.
First of all, sincerely, right now, I am fine, and I want people to worry about me unduly. But second of all, I'm not. Who knows what other people have going on in their lives, right?
Yeah.
You don't want to get. People turn on a show to maybe be distracted or something. You don't want to feel better, to be distracted for a little bit. You don't want to turn on a show and have someone be trauma dumping and talking about their problems.
Absolutely.
Right? The same thing happens. This is something that is an issue for streamers sometimes. I don't think we've ever really had this issue on here. But some people, they'll leave the chat message about how hey, this horrible thing just happened to me. They'll pay it, they'll pay the money to get a super chat or whatever, and the streamer will read this terrible thing that's just happened to somebody, and it's like, and then it's like, great, now I'm depressed and I don't want to stream anymore.
Yeah.
It's not good for the entertainers to trauma dump on people. It's also usually not good for the audience to trauma dump on the entertainers.
Yeah.
But my depression's only seasonal, says LAW. Nathan Berryhill says, we have to see the thing happen? Okay, hold up. Listen, they had to confirm that there was an heir on the way.
That's true, by the way. I did not make that up.
They had to know there was an heir on the way.
Yeah, that's how it worked. It was called the consummation, and yeah, the courtiers came in and watched.
We can't trust these kids to do it.
We got to make sure they're doing their royal duty, Nathan Berryhill.
We gotta hold their hands.
Okay, that didn't happen.
We gotta hold their hands through this process.
Granted, I think that the like, oh, we're gonna be in the room, it was like, I want to say that was a French thing, like at least later on. Like, I know it at least happened with Louis XVI. I don't know if it happened before that, but it was something that mainly just happened with French monarchs, I'm pretty sure. However, usually marriages did happen before 15. So
Sunny D, I assume with regards to trauma dumping, explain the popularity of daytime talk shows then? What popularity? You mean they're cratering, nosediving popularity?
Who?
Daytime talk shows.
Oh yeah, that's tough.
Trauma dumping.
Yeah.
Because Oprah was kind of about Oprah was often about trauma dumping.
Yeah.
Ellen could occasionally be about trauma dumping. I never watched that much of Wendy. I don't really know what her show was all about. I've seen some Wendy because she used to.
I don't watch any of those.
She used to
shows.
play on the. She used to play on the TVs in the cafeteria at my college. So I watched. Yeah? I think that's the main place where popularity of daytime talk shows come from, is people standing around.
Well, it's like that Jon Stewart bit,
and like doctors' offices and other public spaces.
It's like that Jon Stewart bit where he's like CNN. You don't need to explain the anatomy of a plane to your viewers because 90% of your viewer base is already standing in an airport.
No, they were talking about the that Malaysia
Malaysian Airlines flight.
Malaysia flight that went missing, and he's playing CNN's over coverage. And they go, well, a plane of this size, it's about however many meters in length, however many meters in width. He goes, you're telling them what a plane looks like? Did you forget who watches CNN? You can tell 90% of your audience to look out the window at the plane they're about to get on. What I'm saying is that CNN is very popular at airports.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that's I mean, you see all kind. I watched a little bit of Wendy, when I was in college every now and then, because she'd be on when I went to go get food sometimes, and I'm like, sure. I could look at my phone, or I could do this. And variety, as they say, is the spice of life. And if nothing else can be said about me to give me some international cred to our non-American viewers out there, I like my spice.
He does.
I've said many times on the show before, Americans, when it comes to spice, big cowards.
Garbage.
I had a great conversation. So this is I don't know, around a year ago now. I was on a work trip, and I was working with some folks, like locally in the area I went to, and they were they were big foodies, and they're like, okay, we're gonna take you to some spots.
Yeah.
And we went to one place. It was kind of like it was kind of a food courty setup, but it was all like unique restaurants in there. And one of the guys went to like a relatively newly opened Thai place, right? I got something else, like, because I was recommended something else first, and I went over there and what I got was fantastic. I had
I think you told me this. Yeah.
Well, one thing that was interesting, there was like it was like habanero pineapple ketchup or something.
Yeah, you told me that. Yeah.
That was phenomenal. I loved that. I need more of that, please. But this dude went to this Thai place, and I was, saying, well, what are you gonna get, whatever, blah blah blah. Because I but he was his sentence to me was basically, I want to order something that's gonna hurt me.
Hurt me more, snake.
And the space we were eating in was probably already, like, I don't know, 80 degrees.
Yeah.
It felt like, I don't know. And like this man was sweating profusely a quarter of the way through the noodles that he ordered.
Heck yeah.
And he was like, this is
awesome.
So good. I did actually have some of it. I was like, can I steal like this section over here you haven't touched yet? He's like, sure, go ahead. It was phenomenal. And I probably would have gone and ordered some if I hadn't known that I was going to get on a plane the next day. Yeah. And I was like, I don't want to take that. I'm not going to take that risk right now.
No, that's fair.
It was phenomenal though. If I ever go back there and I'm gonna back to that location for a work trip again, and I'm there long enough, I'm gonna go to that Thai place if it still exists. Sheila Flower said, I thought I was good with spice until my Indian roommate and my Korean friend had a spice battle and I participated. That's when I learned the truth.
Yep. Yeah.
What the fuck? Oh God.
Yeah. That's how it goes.
There was I think it was a hard drive article, and it was a photo of the Hot Ones set, and it was like Al Qaeda operative cracked thanks to new experimental interrogation technique.
And it's like a Carolina Reaper.
No, it was that they invited him on Hot Ones or whatever.
Oh, got you.
Yeah, that kind of stuff. Yeah. Anyway, it was just funny.
Dude, I love that we in America have a strange desire to genetically engineer the most deadly pepper in history. It's like been an ongoing battle between like 4 different farms.
This is what
This is the way.
This is what a society like. This is the type of crap that they were doing in Rome.
Oh, absolutely.
Towards the end.
Yeah. Well, I mean, dude, they used mercury for makeup. They weren't all there.
I know. I'm aware of this. They did all kinds of cool stuff back then. There were no woke liberals telling you that you couldn't smear mercury all over your face. If you want to look your best when you're going to the gala ball, all right, I shouldn't have some OSHA bureaucrat showing up and telling me that I can't sneeze mercury all over everybody, okay? That's my right as a Roman citizen.
That is true. Dude, it's crazy when you read about Rome, and it's like, for like the first 300 years of the Roman Republic, if you were outside of the city of Rome, you could not vote. Or you would not be represented. Sorry, it wasn't a direct democracy, obviously, but like you would not be represented, period. And it became like a huge domestic issue. And the Senate was like, no, you don't live in Rome, idiot. Like, just move to Rome. So this isn't the most overpowered France I've had at this point in the game. This is kind of standard.
Okay.
It's annoying that I haven't gotten Milan because obviously, my monarch died at like the most inopportune time known to man. Mm-hmm. I will probably take Milan back here in a bit. They are getting conquered again after I gave them a bunch of land in my last peace treaty to try to, make my life easier when I retook them. But they're about to get murdered again. Granted, I can go back in about 4 years. Right now, I'm currently sitting over my governing capacity, which is basically what you can control without being overextended. So I'm not really expanding right now. I'm just kind of resting on my laurels, if you will. So that's why I'm just kind of sitting here. It's very chill right now.
Sometimes you need a little chill.
Yeah.
Sometimes our streams are intense. Sometimes they're chill. Sometimes they get to be both.
I did just discover the cannon though.
The cannon.
Yes.
Wait, hold on. You found Xenoblade Chronicles 2? Xenoblade Chronicles 1? Were we making jokes about canon?
No.
No.
That was rough.
Yeah.
That was low.
Uh-huh.
Oh my gosh. So this would be my claim to the Kingdom of Naples, but Naples is already under a PU with Castile, so I would just get claims. I would just get claims on everything, and I honestly don't want that. There's already I want to say in the mission tree down here, if I take Milan and do some other stuff. Oh no, they're still already under Castile, so I actually wouldn't get a PU over them. That's annoying. I think this actually kind of screwed up everything now that I'm looking at it. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to get near as OP as I usually do as France just because some RNG stuff happened, but who cares? I wasn't trying. I was kind of trying to go more historical and play tall, so that works.
I see. What does playing tall mean?
It means basically you spend a lot more of your money and time on developing what you already have rather than expanding and just becoming a giant blob.
See.
I'm still going to get pretty big. I'm going to take basically the rest of this France region here, this orange part here. I'm going to take all of this. I'll probably move into Belgium a bit. Take Alsace probably. Maybe some parts of northern Italy. But I'll probably stay pretty condensed here.
I see.
You can usually get a personal union on Spain through the mission tree. However, you need to take Naples and Milan, a bunch of other areas. And unless you get really lucky and get personal unions and all that, it's really not... Wait a minute. Eehee. This might make things a bit easier. So these guys murdered Milan so bad that they're now just willing to become my vassal, not my junior partner in a personal union, which is a lot more advantageous because it basically means they have to pay me way more. And it also means I can integrate them to become part of the fold a lot faster.
I see.
So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to improve my relations with them like crazy, vassalize them, take back all their land so they're really strong again, and then integrate them basically. And Europe won't be mad at me because I'm just taking back what's rightfully Milanese. So
okay. All right. I see.
Yeah. If anyone's got any other history questions, I can field those, or questions in general about the YouTube channel. Voldemort talks about it on his new FluTube channel.
It was it was a little slow in the beginning, but, Zac Efron, man, Zephron, enough said. 5 stars. That was back in the days when you could rate a YouTube video 5 stars.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah, everybody forgot about that. Do a lot of stuff. You could do a lot of stuff on YouTube back in the day.
Before the dark times, before the Empire.
There's a lot of stuff going on YouTube back in the day. It was a little funky. You never knew what was going on back then.
So Ali W asks a good question about the historical context of this. So with whether there's a false pope or a real pope right now. So basically the way it worked with the anti-pope was established in France for a large part of it was established in Rome actually. Basically the Holy Roman Empire went into Rome and basically put in their own guy because the Holy Roman Emperor disagreed with the Pope on a lot of stuff. So basically they went in and put in their own guy down there. And the real Pope, at that point, he fled to Avignon, which is why Avignon is currently under the control of the Papal State down here in France. So basically the Pope fled there, And the way it worked was for about 200 years, the Holy Roman Empire still tried to like claim that their pope was the real pope. However, by about, I want to say 1420-ish, that was resolved, and there was only one pope again. So now the pope is back in Rome. He just kept his land in Avignon at the time of the game.
There's Uncharted 4 music coming on now. Last one was another MP
load in one about
actually.
Bismarck. I can take this one. I actually know a decent amount about the German unification.
Okay.
So basically, after the Napoleonic Wars, Prussia was already pretty big at the start of the Napoleonic Wars, but basically after the Napoleonic Wars, since they played a pretty decisive role in ending Napoleon, it was kind of, at the end, it was kind of the Brits and the Prussians that kind of gave Napoleon the old 1-2 at Waterloo, right? Oh, that rhymed. I'm so clever. Basically what happened is Prussia was given a lot of land after the war because what Napoleon went in and did was basically kind of this entire kind of all of this in Germany. Napoleon went in and made a client state called the Confederation of the Rhine. The Rhine, sorry, not Rhyme. If that's, I think I kind of slurred that. Basically, it was a big region of what would now be West Germany, where he kind of established a buffer state. It's kind of the first It was kind of the first kind of German national state, even if it was a puppet of France. And basically, after the war, there was this giant power vacuum there, right? So what's it called? I'm blanking. What the great powers decided after the war was, okay, well, since the Prussians were one of the big people helping do that, let's let the Prussians administer a lot of that directly. So the Prussians gained a lot of land, not only near where they were in Prussia, because Prussia was up kind of in this area over here, Silesia, Brandenburg, and obviously Prussia. That's actual Prussia up there. They were kind of over here, but basically after the Napoleonic Wars, they were given a lot of this. And so they already ruled, not a giant portion of what would become the German Empire, but they owned probably 30-40% of it. And all of the other states were still pretty small, except for good old Austria over here, who still owned most of Bohemia, Hungary, and had a lot of friends over in Bavaria and down here in Württemberg. So you had a decent amount of Austrian support down there, but basically what happened is after the Prussians decided to go into decided to go up here into Denmark. Basically, they were just taking back German provinces. It was a nationalistic war to take back Schleswig and Holstein up here. And once they took those back, the Austrians and them got into a fight over who would control what, which snowballed into another war. Basically, Bismarck did some political engineering to make the Austrians really mad at Prussia, to the point that the Austrians wanted to declare war, but he actually wanted war. And basically what happened was you had a situation where the Austrians and the Germans fought, and basically the Germans, or not the Germans, sorry, the Prussians. The Prussians basically told the Austrians, hey, you're going to stay out of Germany. That's our zone of affairs, basically, is what they said. So after that, the Germans were really the Prussians, sorry, were the main, hegemon in the German region, but they still didn't control everything. They kind of just had a loose confederation. Then what happened was they provoked France into a war, the Franco-Prussian War in 1871, which basically, by bringing in a common enemy, they united all the Germans against an exterior force, which then led to all of them after the war, after the Prussians and the rest of the German Confederation won a stunning victory. They kicked the ever-living shit out of the French. They basically, after they won that, they got the French emperor to basically sign a document saying that Kaiser Wilhelm of Germany would be recognized as that, as Kaiser of Germany. So basically all the German states looked to Prussia as their protector, and they had multiple powers in Europe saying, hey, he's the rightful ruler of Germany. So after all of that, Germany united into the German Empire, which then obviously didn't stick around for too long because of World War I. I think I answered that decently.
It certainly sounded thorough to me.
Ugh, that hurt, but I'm good. I did it. It was a very long-winded question, but I did it. Was that decent? Was that decent? Did Dumb American prove himself?
I was talking to you about the other day. If you ever, Joshua.
Yes.
If you ever get the hankering to play another 3D platform where you really need to go back and guess. I know you got about halfway through A Hat in Time or something back in the day.
Yeah.
You need to go give it another shot.
Do I?
Oh, it's so good. It's one of my favorite games of the last, I don't know.
I mean, I believe you.
Yakuza Metro, if it was like a standalone game, would be one of my favorite 3D platformers of recent years. It's phenomenal. Sorry, this is the Yakuza Metro, like
yeah.
the main central area theme is playing, so.
Follow-up question. There was one German country that didn't want to join. Which one was it, and how did Bismarck get them on this side? It was Bavaria. Bavaria didn't want to join because they kind of had their own traditions. They really aligned more with Austria than everyone else. Bismarck kind of let them keep their king and their crown prince and all that stuff, just basically as a subsection, as a mostly autonomous zone within the German Empire. I'm like 99% sure that's correct.
Well, I guess you just answered that appropriately. I need to run to the restroom real quick.
Uh-oh.
Now I'm gonna pop a grenade and run away.
You son of a gun.
Now that we've talked about you're talking about the mechanics of this game, why you think it's neat. Why don't you unleash the Paradox as game company and releases rant that you've been holding back? I think you may have done it once on the research log, like briefly, but I'm not even sure about that.
I don't know if I want to do that right now. It's a very mellow stream.
I don't want to scream. Then how about this?
I don't want to get feisty.
Fine. Then how about this? Victoria 3 coming out later this year, right?
Yeah.
What do you like and dislike about Victoria 2? What are you looking forward to or hoping for with that third entry? And I'll be back in a few minutes.
That's a bit of a hard question, I guess. So I would say that to a specific extent, I would say some of the things I really didn't like about Victoria 2 is the AI is not great when it comes to wars and campaigns. It's pretty garbage for the most part in terms of wars. You can kind of bait it into really like one-sided battles where you can just destroy it, and that just comes across as really... I mean, it was a product of the time because that game was released in, I want to say, 2010 or 2011. But yeah, so I'm pretty sure that it's going to be fixed. I feel like they're going to change a lot of the way warfare works. I hear it's going to be even more simulation-based, which I'm not sure how I feel on that. The main thing for me is that the AI did not know how to build an economy and it did not know how to do wars. And if they fix that, I think it'll be a decent game. Otherwise, I think it's going to be a very problematic game because that's really something they need to fix. But I don't really know. That's really all I got on that. Jacob kind of left that. I didn't play Victoria that much. He assumed I would have more to say on that than I did. Any other questions? I'm not seeing anything. But I guess I'll kind of explain what I'm doing right now. So, as of right now, basically what I'm trying to do is, again, kind of just consolidate what I've gotten now that I've gotten Milan under me. They don't even control Milan right now. So basically what I'm trying to do is get them all their land back. So what I did is I just went to war with Venice to get this land back, to get Braganza and Brescia back. I probably butchered those. But now I'm going to, here in a minute, once the peace treaty ends, I'm going to go to war with Montferrat and take this land back, which is the brunt of the Milanese land. And then I'll probably go to war with Mantua as well to take back Cremona and Parma. So that's kind of what's on the to-do list, because as of right now, I'm still over governing capacity, and there's not really much I can do right now. We're kind of at a... There is some stuff that happened RNG related that kind of screwed up any path toward expansion I might have, so we might be sitting here for a bit. But hey, perfect time to ask questions. What can I say? No one gonna ask anything? I'll just keep talking then. I guess one other thing I can talk about is, I guess I will talk about Paradox release stuff. So basically the way that Paradox works is they make... Part of the reason we've already talked about a lot of it in terms of cost, right? So we already talked about how this game, if you want everything that's not on sale, it's like... As we know, with what I said before, a lot of the stuff having to do with cost was... This game is really expensive if you want to get everything because of all the DLCs. And I understand that to a certain extent. That's because, obviously, this game, I mean, I'm guessing y'all, from just looking at it, can tell, it's not something you want to just, you know, dive into. It's kind of for a niche crowd. And so in that regard, I understand that they want to make it an expensive product because they're probably not going to sell to too many people. And the people that they are selling to, they kind of have the market cornered on this because it's something that... you know, is pretty unique in terms of what's going on. But for the most part, it just feels really scummy because a lot of the updates that come out, actually, Leviathan, which was one of the last few updates that came out like completely broken. It was given to a new team, Paradox Tinto, which is a subdivision of Paradox that's based, I want to say, in like Spain or something, with Paradox being in Sweden, and there was basically no quality assurance on Leviathan. It came out not just half-baked, it came out with like game-breaking glitches on everything, and was like completely unbalanced. It was like they did not get anyone to QA test it, and they sold it at, I want to say that one was like $20. It was ridiculous. And the only reason anyone bought it at launch was because you could break the game like crazy, and I guess that's some sort of appeal. But at one point, Leviathan, no joke, had the lowest like percentage positive reviews of any product ever released on Steam, which kind of gives you the idea of why a lot of people are kind of sick of Paradox's shit. And so a lot of that's gotten better. They patch stuff, it gets better. They haven't ruined the game at any point. However, it does have a lot of issues. And for that price, it's a hard pill to swallow for a lot of people, and rightfully so, because it's an insane price. Again, I really like these games, so I'm willing to pay it because I put a lot of time into them, and I buy them on sale. Don't get these full price unless you have a problem with money. But for the most part, you kind of, it's still really scummy, right? And so for the most extent, like there was no goodwill after Leviathan sucked. Like, people, you know, were being mean in forums and stuff, and instead of them reacting like let's say Sony after the Cyberpunk debacle, where they offered refunds to everyone, it wasn't anything like that. They offered no refunds. They didn't offer to lower the price of the expansion for anyone. It was completely, it was very anti-consumer in the way that they practiced it, and they threw a lot of it back on the fans of being, well, you know, people are getting very mean messages, and, you know, how dare the fans do this, and blah, blah, blah. And it just comes across as really anti-consumer when they don't really fix stuff, because then the next one came out half-baked. So it's a matter of, I think, they've got problems with it, and it really just, it's luck of the draw with their DLCs. Some of them are really good, some of them are terrible. The only reason they get away with it is because they kind of have the market cornered on grand strategy games, and usually they're pretty damn good. So that's really my 2 cents on that. it's very much a double-edged sword. And I still support Paradox with my wallet a lot of the time, so I can't complain too much. But they do a lot of things that really come across as anti-consumer. I'll just put it that way. Why I got interested in history won't probably surprise y'all that it was video games. If I'm being completely honest, it was, like I said earlier, a lot of it was Civilization. I played a lot of Civilization and a lot of other video games like that. Besides that, kind of watching like History Channel before it was bad and stuff like that with like my dad and my family, stuff like that. I just really enjoyed learning about that kind of stuff. And then just as I went to school and did other stuff, I kind of realized I just wanted to do something I liked rather than, go and get an economics degree and make money. I wasn't really worried about that as much. I just wanted to do something I liked. So that was the main reason I did that. I was more focused on getting a 4-year degree and getting good grades than I was about doing something that would, get me hella bunts. So I don't know. In terms of what's my focus, the school I go to doesn't offer, and it's not. I mean, no, it's a good history program, but in terms of like regionality, it's not incredible. You only can go like more like 4 or 5 axes of study. Mainly, what I've tried to do is I've tried to go. I'm mostly focusing on Western Europe and East Asia for the most part, and then kind of their relations with the West and with America. So it's kind of an international kind of IR type thing where it's more about the way that these countries have interacted both in the modern day and over the last few hundred years. So it's kind of mixed. It's kind of weird. There's nothing really that specific about it. I can't really speak I'm not great at speaking any other languages. I'm really bad at foreign languages, and I was growing up. So a lot of it is kind of restricted to the Anglosphere, which sucks when you're doing research.
I heard you saying you got into history because of video games and all that Assassin's Creed you played, right?
No.
None of us, we've never played an Assassin's Creed game. Sorry to interrupt, Joshua. I just needed to make that joke.
No, it was funny. I liked it. But Jacob, you have anything to contribute instead of just making this the Josh hour?
Listen, I got busy.
You sure?
Yeah, I had to go do something else as well. Sorry.
No, you're fine.
I got caught up with an extra item there.
I got you.
But this is what do you mean? This is the EU4 hour. This is basically already the Josh hour.
I mean, I'm not really doing much is the thing. I'm kind of sitting on my butt trying to get stuff done,
Isn't
but very
this what
poorly.
This game is about?
Well, yeah, because I'm talking the entire time. I'm kind of playing like garbage.
Well, then fine. How about this? I'll talk for a little while. Hey, guys, who wants to talk about Kingdom Hearts?
I'm putting on headphones.
Hey, everybody! Kingdom Hearts questions! Whoop, whoop! Raise the roof! Yeah! Kingdom Hearts hour! Kingdom Hearts times, baby! It's time. Kingdom Hearts hours up in here on Research Runs. Yeah!
We can end the stream now if you want.
I'm giving people the opportunity. I'm giving the people what they want.
I'm just messing with you.
I'm giving the people what they want.
I know, and it just makes me very sad that that's what they want.
It's what the people... Joshua, we are nothing if not men of the people. We are nothing if not men of the people. And we must give the people what they want, okay? This is key. This is a key part of our career. You're the key component. You will be Gamer Girl Queen.
You'll have Cheeto Puffs on your fingers.
And Twitch Prime will be mine.
You thought you could escape, Princess, but my IQ was too high.
Ali W says, I feel like Ruby would have gotten more of a response at this point. I talked about Ruby on the last
so much.
On the last Breath of the Wild stream, and that's my quota for the month.
Dude, I'm so glad that I'm never gonna play another Kingdom Hearts game.
I talked briefly about. Don't never say never. I talked briefly.
No, never.
I talked briefly about the trailer for the new Ruby anime on yesterday.
Yeah, I remember that.
The last Breath of the Wild stream, and
it was probably garbage.
And that was it. That was all. That's all I've got in me for Ruby for right now. Oh, I'll say, well, you know what? I do have one thing to say about Ruby, because I said it to you a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
They showed, like, I guess the next volume or season or whatever they call them is coming out sometime soon, and they released like a clip. They had a clip.
Yeah.
You guys, not even the right clip. They showed a clip, and it was like a surprisingly long preview clip. It was like 4 or 5 minutes long. And it was the most I've enjoyed RWBY content in quite some time, because the first 1.5 to 2 minutes had no dialogue. It was just like a character walking through a setting and some visual storytelling.
Interesting.
Right?
That's ridiculous.
And then it was just RWBY herself, finally...
The only, like, good character in the show.
Finally with a normal voice, like, sounding the way that she did back in season 1 and, you know, before the weirdness, whatever happened with her voice direction.
It was so strange.
Just sounding normal again.
Like, Lindsay Jones actually starts sounding like Lindsay Jones, like, in season 1, and then it just goes away, and she sounds like she's doing, like, a character voice, and it's very strange. And so RWBY sounds normal again in this clip, and RWBY talks with a mouse. There's a little talking mouse. Oh yeah, you told me about this.
Yeah, and it's just a little conversation where like neither of them like kind of know, know what, like, even though they speak English, they don't know the same words. Basically, it feels almost like a Star Trek scene, but kind of like very. I say that with like Star Trek, you know, would. Old Trek, which is dead, is spinning in its grave at that comparison.
Yes.
But the point is, it felt more like something than nothing. And
that's a good way of putting it.
And then there was an actual trailer, which was like a minute long, and I clicked on it thinking, what if like, so at the ending of the previous volume, I didn't watch it, but I watched like bits of it, and I know that at the ending of the previous volume of RWBY, a number of the main characters fell into a bottomless pit.
Sick. Are they all dead?
In the quantum.
Please tell me they're dead.
They fell into a bottomless pit in the quantum realm. And the final shot was a totally new Bizarro World location and RWBY's weapon like sitting on a beach.
And it was like their corpses, like all like on the ground.
So we are to assume they've been teleported to another dimension.
Oh.
And so they released this 4-minute clip of RWBY just doing her thing. And for a split second I got hopeful. Hey, what if instead of all the characters going to the same dimension, RWBY is in her own dimension, and it's just RWBY hours.
That's
Maybe
ridiculous.
I'll watch the show. And
Nope.
I turn on the trailer, and for the first 40 seconds, it's just RWBY.
And then her stupid friends
and then her friends teleport in, and I was like, I mean, I was never gonna watch it.
And
anyway.
for that reason, I'm out.
For that reason, I'm out. I was never gonna watch it anyway. But that's there. You know what? I've just doubled my quota for RWBY for this month, which means no RWBY talk next month, and
Nice.
I can't be baited into it.
I'm so proud of you.
And it has nothing to do with the fact that I'm not going to be streaming or releasing any videos next month.
It has everything to do with that, ladies and gentlemen.
Circle Duck said, say gamers, why not talk about the critically acclaimed MMORPG? Pff, get sniped. Oh, the church stuff is neat. What do you think? Have you seen the church stuff related to Nier Automata, Joshua?
No. I also know nothing about Nier Automata.
So the Nier Automata is back in the news, Joshua.
Okay.
Because someone posted on Reddit, hey, does anybody know what's going on with this church and how to get into it? And people ignored it. And then the person kept posting, does anybody know what's going on here?
Stop.
And he posted a video. A video was posted of a dude playing his A2 running up to a door.
Yeah.
Running up to a wall in the copied city, and there is a hidden prompt to open a door. And a door opens, and they go through into a secret area with a weird, twisty-turny MC Escher hallway that then leads into a church with a pickup and a body lying like on top of a slab with holding some flowers.
Huh.
Not a real body, like it's all copied city style, like that matte white look. And so people said, there's still a new secret has been discovered in this game 5 years later?
Or did it get added in with a patch?
No one else can get into the room. So
Excuse me?
So now the question is...
What the hell?
So now the question is this A, a mod?
It's probably a mod.
B, this dude triggered something really esoteric, doesn't realize he did it, and discovered a secret? Or C, an elaborate marketing stunt leading up to the Switch version, which will contain new teaser content for Nier 3.
Yeah. It's either the former or the latter in that case.
Right now, the Nier fan base is a tizzy trying to figure out if this can be replicated with current modding tools, which would prove that it's just a hoax, if this is a legitimate secret, or if this is extremely elaborate marketing.
That's crazy.
Greencap says, if it's a mod breakthrough because it's impossible to do with current tools, or an ARG. I don't know what that means, or cut content. Every scenario is cool. Well, the cut content thing would be only if there was code, like monkey code somebody found still sitting around.
Yeah.
But everybody's already data mined. Like, Automata.
Yeah, that wouldn't make sense.
This is either an extremely sophisticated mod, or it's Yoko Taro getting his jollies.
He's getting his mustache twirling going.
Exactly. So it remains to be seen. That has been happening for like 3 days. 3 days.
3 days.
It is a developing situation.
Huh. Interesting.
So we don't know what's going on with that one yet. There's Bionicle music playing now.
Oh, really?
But it just wrapped up. It was the Gali Nuva, or I guess rather it was plays during the Gali Nuva level, but I suppose it would be the Ga Wahi exploration theme. Wahi, so
nerd!
Bionicle. So
what Bionicle, a nerd! Get a load of this nerd, everyone.
So in Bionicle, the different regions in Matanui and later Metranui, I don't remember the terminology for Metranui as clearly. On Matanui, the terminology for each of the regions are the basically suffixes or prefixes for each of the different elemental affinities and like I guess you'd say color schemes, races associated with them. So Ta is fire, Ga is water, Ko is ice, Po is like kind of the desert area, Onu is like kind of the underground area, and Li is the jungle area. And in each of these areas there would be like kind of the central like village of that region, and then also the wilds of that region. So, for example, in the Ga region, which is kind of a swampy, watery, verdant region, it would be the Ga Koro would be the name of the village, and Ga Wahi is the name of the surrounding kind of wilderness that's not safe to travel through.
Get a load of this nerd.
Wow. I believe.
And they thought my history knowledge was weird.
I believe Kinney was the name.
Esoteric.
I think that Kinney was the name of like their temples. I think it was still like Ga Kinney, Da Kinney, depending Ta Kinney, like depending on the region. I could be wrong.
This is just something else now.
And the Rahi.
You know what?
Were wild animals, but they're not animals because everything's kind of.
You know what I'm gonna do?
They're a mixture of machine and biological life
forms,
more
machine,
right?
man.
That's why it's the Bionicle meant biological chronicle. Did you know that? That's what it stood for. I'm not kidding. Because I
didn't need to know that.
Because they're robots.
Or any of this. I guess I didn't really need to know any of this.
They're robots, right? They're robots, but it's.
I'm gonna see if anyone realizes what I'm doing in the game right now, because I just started doing something very goofy.
What's Joshua doing in the game right now, chat? So basically, what's going on, right? Is that it's not very well explained. But in Bionicle, they're all like machine life forms, but technically they have like organic brains and organic tissue like connecting their mechanical parts. So they are technically living beings. They're kind of like if there were like proto-humanoids in this universe, which don't appear to be. Protodermis is another matter entirely. There's protodermis and energized protodermis. They have very different properties. We'll loop back to that in a minute, okay? But if there were like purely biological humanoid characters in these universes, which there is no evidence to indicate that, it could be almost assumed that the world of Bionicle is like a post-human. Like everything is heavily augmented.
I see.
There's still
what a
like
nerd.
human brains and organs and stuff tied up in these machines, but like and they've continued to go on for like centuries and centuries and original like biological life.
Who would know
that's
this?
The thing that's really weird is that plant life is still around. But if you really want to break into the lore of this, it gets really funky because there doesn't appear to be that much plant life in Metranui.
I can't believe this.
Metranui is the main setting of seasons like 3 and 4, if you want to call them seasons, and it's basically an entirely like urban landscape, and there's not a ton of plant life there because it's extremely developed. Matanui, which is the original setting of the series where it starts.
Hell is real.
Oh, Greencap says there are completely biological animals. They're just extremely rare. Okay, it's been a lot. It's been a while since I haven't brushed up on my Bionicle lore for a while. So there are apparently there are completely biological creatures out there somewhere. Okay, got it. But so there to be clear, because plant life, is also biological. There are plants like Matanui is an extremely verdant location full of plant life. So,
yes.
so there is that. Which is what implies to me that like the evolution of life to be mechanical.
Todd Howard died?
Todd Howard died!
That's sad. It's fine. I have I have the next one.
Cliff Basinski.
Yeah.
Do you know how to spell his name?
I think that's right.
Who knows? I have no idea.
Blazin. Otherwise, his name is Kurt Blazinski.
You could have just called him Cliffy B, but that's okay. Circo Duck says, nerd clutches my Lego Golly toy. JK, I don't remember much of Bionicle. I just have that. On Bara Maga, it's all just dudes in armor, says Green Caps. Hold the phone. So Bara Maga is just, are you telling me it's just biological life form? Like just pure flesh and bone, but they just wear heavy armor? Are you serious? God, I gotta go get my encyclopedia. I got my Bionicle encyclopedia back in my room. I could go get it. I bet it's in there. I could check the appendix and I could find
the stats.
I bet I could check that. I bet I could find that out.
Check the stats, Jacob.
I bet I could get that information. I bet I could figure that out. I bet that's in that book somewhere. Rahi were mechanical, but there were real animals on Mata Nui that's outside the Great Spirit robot. Okay, yes. Yeah, okay. Right.
Even I knew that.
Of course, because Mata Nui is outside of the Great Spirit's chassis, which is like a season 9 spoiler, but don't worry about that.
I never even... What the hell are you talking about?
Kapoor says, I'm sorry I'm late. I had to beat an old lady with a stick to get these cranberries.
That's a good one.
Okay, so listen. No, Joshua, listen. Late game Bionicle spoilers.
Was
okay,
insane.
Late game Bionicle spoilers. All right. So Mata Nui, all right, does in fact have a physical body. Okay?
I knew that. I knew that.
Let's back up to the very beginning, folks. So the plot of Bionicle from like minute 1 is that the Great Spirit Mata Nui, who is like one of the elder gods of this setting, has been basically betrayed and poisoned in some way and is comatose. And this is allowing Makuta, who is like the brother of Mata Nui, I believe it's stated at some point. Even though Makuta seems infinitely less powerful than Mata Nui,
I want to die.
Makuta is basically using Mata Nui's absence to spread negative influence across the island of Mata Nui, okay?
Wait, so he's like the Grimm. He thrives off of negative emotion.
Sure, we're not talking about Ruby. You can't.
Why not?
You can't bait me. I've doubled my quota. So basically, the first couple of seasons of Bionicle concern matters on the island of Mata Nui. It's the only location that we know about, which is where the main action takes place. Makuta is there trying to cause some chaos. I don't even remember what his like long-term game is there. Like,
I don't think he has one besides like he's gonna be the best.
Stir up some trouble.
Like I think he just wants to stir up some shit.
I think he just wants to start some shit. Is Bionicle discussion related to the game? No, Joey Perez. Joshua just complained that he was playing poorly because he was having to focus on playing and doing history talk. So I'm taking the onus off of Joshua so that he can begin conquering Europe by talking about Bionicle. So basically...
These things are only tangentially connected.
The first couple of seasons of Bionicle... I call them... So by the way, I'm saying seasons. Bionicle's not a TV show, obviously. It was a toy line. But it does have very heavy lore because it had a tie-in comic book series, which you would only have access to if you were subscribed to the Lego magazine. Okay, now the Lego magazine was pretty neat because the Lego magazine would be every other month. You got 2 different types of Lego magazines. There was the Lego shopping magazine, which was the traditional like catalog of products. Right, you would get it was like, hey, here's the products that you can buy. Here's their code. Mail order them in if it was back because you were back in the day. You're still getting magazines and crap. And then on the alternating months, you would get a magazine that was just fun stuff, right? Now, obviously, it was still trying to sell you on products, but it would be like comics, like short comics, about the different sets that were out, right? It would be, like traditional magazine type stuff. It would be, you could send in photos of, kids would send in photos of their Lego creations, and they would get featured in these issues, right? It was a cool little magazine. But for a pretty lengthy stretch of time there, if you were ordering the Lego magazine, as a separate issue would come bundled with the fun one, not the catalog one. Coming alongside the main like fun Lego magazine, which would have its own comics and stuff inside of it, there would be a second standalone Bionicle comic, and there would be a new issue of this every other month. and it was the running story of the Bionicle Chronicle. I didn't know that was what it stood for, by the way, until like 2 years ago.
Good.
I don't think anybody.
So
I don't think
dumb.
anybody. It's terrible. So like in addition to the comics, there was also a series of novels, which I definitely read all of them up until like 2006.
I read a couple. They were like poorly written but decent.
And then there were a couple of movies which were not good.
They were horrible.
What's really funny is that the first movie adapts maybe the worst of the first 3 arcs. It's like,
also just Lord of the Rings.
Yes. Also, the structure of it is like, and even like the soundtrack is trying to do Lord of the Rings light in the movie. Basically, so that arc that the movie comprises does kind of conclude like the 3-year Matanui arc, and it basically involves defeating Makuta. He's not really defeated. Don't worry, he'll be back later.
Guess who's back again?
And Makuta isn't even his real name. It's much like Xehanort. There are many. Actually, it's not like Xehanort at all. It's like the reverse. It's like the reverse situation of Xehanort. We later find out that Makuta is the name of like a faction or species.
It's very strange.
And the Makuta that we were dealing with in the first couple of seasons, who remains a major antagonist, his name is like Tederax or something like that. Trederax. I don't know. I was out by the time that this happened, so I really don't know this stuff. I think I'm too close to the mic, and I'm probably peaking a lot with this mic and how loud I am, so I apologize for that.
Who cares?
But anyway, so basically after the like main Matanui arc is concluded, I don't think the situation with like the spirit of Matanui, because there's the Great Spirit Matanui and there's the Island Matanui, and these are 2 different things. Okay, this is very important.
It's really not.
Pterodax, there we go. Makuta Pterodax. Yeah. That's the guy.
Terran Tatek, the force immune thing that you fight in KOTOR?
Sure, that's fine. You mean the anti-magic field the Albed used to trap Yuna in Final Fantasy X?
Don't go near Albed no more, yeah?
That's trouble.
They trouble.
I'm gonna stop and read chat for a second because I was about to move on to the second major arc of Bionicle. So let's see here. People are talking about Vanitas.
Oh God. I think because you said negative emotion and Makuta.
You're the one who said negative emotion, but you were talking about the Grim.
I talked about the Grim.
Yes, but people don't know about Ruby.
You can't throw this on me.
I'm just telling you what happened.
I'm just sitting here.
I'm reverse engineering the conversation. It's all that's happening.
I'm trying to give the people something stupid in this game. No one is even, and no one knows I'm doing it. Okay.
Have you been reading chat? Does anyone know what you're doing?
No one has said anything about what I'm doing.
Joshua's up to something. Anybody out there who plays EU4, what is Joshua doing? Figure it out. Tell him what he's doing. He's doing something secret over here.
And nobody knows I'm doing it.
No one knows.
No one.
He's not writing another novel. Let's see here.
He's writing about government secrets.
He's called a brother, but he's not at all equivalent, but that's revealed later. Okay, got it. He wants to keep the Great Spirit asleep so he can figure out how to take it over. Oh yes, I remember but
I remember that.
Yeah, it's a long-term plan until 2009. But we'll get. That's a long ways out. We're not even gonna get that far in this discussion.
I don't know, man. You're kind of on a roll. Keep going.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Okay. Oh, the reason we're talking about Vanitas is because Sheila Flower said I will never ever stop being confused when people talk about Vanitas. My first thought will always be, what do the paintings have to do with anything here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Jin pops in, says, you guys are awesome. Just want to pop in and say that you guys, Joey and Aiden, make me feel like I actually have my own nerdy posse.
Nice.
Glad you enjoy. Hope you're. Are you a Bionicle fan too? Are you an otaku too?
You play games too? We have so much in common.
Girl and the gamer. Let's see here. Anything else here in chat that I need to talk about real quick? 10 attacks. Splatoon. Ali W says, he's sieging Greece for some reason.
Yes, that is true.
Okay, Ali W has a step, but has not figured out the end.
They missed the part. They missed my entry into Greece, which happened a few years ago.
Hurricaneria says, "Are you doing some sort of North Korea strategy, a la CK3?"
No, I'm not doing that. I know who he's referencing. I want to say I forget who did that. That's a YouTube video of doing a very tall, very like basically you don't let any vassals have anything. You just own a kingdom that's like 10 tiles. And just, like, make it into, like, this urban, like, megatropolis, basically. But no, I'm not doing that.
Sagewater Dragon says there's a mod called A Rude Awakening that makes Europa Universalis 4 Bionicle themed. Josh, go download that real quick. Make the stream on brand.
You keep talking, I'm gonna put on Voltaire's Nightmare.
Okay, so listen. Oh, by the way, this Pyramid Cave's been going on for 7 minutes, so we're gonna skip that. I should have removed that from the playlist. I didn't realize that was a 30-minute long extended version that was sitting around in this playlist for some reason.
It's fine.
It's fine. Don't worry about it.
Oh, I have better mill tech than the Ottomans right now.
What the heck? It's not ending. Fine, there we go.
You did it.
I ended it.
Congratulations.
And I am going to end it.
Congratulations.
I am going to end it. Ooh, I'm gonna put some more Lego music on. There's some stuff in the shuffle. There's a track from Lego Alpha Team coming up. I'm gonna put that after this track from Persona 5.
I hate you.
Yeah, dude.
So, see, this was great, because I made an alliance with Poland, and now every single Ottoman troop just left to go invade Lithuania. Well, I just sieged them down, I guess?
Don't worry about it.
They're not very smart.
Okay,
People might be wondering why this is pink or purple instead of France's color. They'll find out very quickly.
Will they?
Yes.
Is anybody paying attention to you, or am I stealing the entire show in my Bionicle talk?
I don't care.
Ah, dude, I'm gonna Photoshop the thumbnail for this. I'm gonna give us both masks.
You're gonna do the Jeb Bush image of him like with his hands outstretched and like the red eyes, except you're gonna make it you in Bionicle. Oh crap.
Oh boy.
Okay, that kind of sucks.
There's a couple of Bionicle. There are only 21 people watching the stream, and there are at least 2 Bionicle fans in chat.
Uh-oh.
There are at least 2 Bionicle lore-pilled people in chat right now. What are the odds? Oh, okay. All right. Come on, let me zero back in. What was I talking about? Okay, so after the Mask of Light movie, which concludes the larger Toa Mata Nui arc, right? Okay. At this point, there is a lengthy flashback where one of the characters, one of the elders, explains, before I got turned into a small elder by magic. Why are you crossing your fingers? What's happening? What's going on?
I got very lucky.
What happened? What did you get lucky with?
A reinforce rate on a battle. Basically, one of my armies, the Ottomans kind of had it dead to rights, and I basically sent my other army to try to take them out really quickly, and barely got in there like in the nick of time.
Ooh, cool. Oh man.
Granted, this war is still going to be very difficult. I'm going to need to take some loans.
God.
What?
Oh boy, I'm just looking at you. I'm looking at your map, man.
Map.
Bobcat,
man.
thumbnail makes me wonder, is Joshua the taller one? Yes. Yeah,
I'm much taller.
Yeah, I'm short.
Jacob is very short. I'm not even that tall. Jacob's just very short.
I'm short boys over here.
Haha.
Does Bionicle feature bioweapons? What's the bio for? I told Joey Perez, were you listening? I said it's the Biological Chronicle.
Come on, get in there. Get in there.
I gotta double check and make sure I'm right about that, or if I was fooled.
Oh my gosh, I'm getting so lucky right now. Now that I said that, I'm gonna get destroyed. But Jacob, what should I name my general to ensure I win this battle?
You were gonna do Phil Spencer, right?
No, that was gonna be an admiral.
Okay.
Admirals are gonna be game developers.
Okay, so what's the theme for generals then?
I don't know. I said General Scales once. Okay, then I did Colonel Sanders. I don't know.
General. Oh man. Geez, I don't know. I don't have a good answer for this. Make a Bionicle theme. General Tahu.
No.
General Tahu Mata.
No, we're gonna go.
General Tahu Mata, dude. Steam, hot air, as they say.
No, we're gonna say Sergeant Scooter.
I don't even remember that from the movie. Joey talked about it when he watched it, because he and his friends watched it because they watch shitpost movies for fun.
Hurricaneria is close to right.
The characters in Bionicle are bio.
Hurricaneria, you got about 90% of it.
Joshua, NP Bro says, General Kenobi.
Oh, damn it.
Next
that would have been good. That'll be the next one. I'll put General Grievance in there too.
General Grievance and General Kenobi, absolutely. Yeah, Hurricaneria, no way. Are you fighting off the Ottomans during the siege of Constantinople?
He's close. He's close. Hurricaneria's got about 70% of what I'm doing.
Rush Kapoor said, did you see the multiplayer Breath of the Wild mod?
Oh, I did see that. I saw that. I didn't watch the video, but I saw that someone did it. That's cool. If we were any good at modding, that would be something to look into, but we're not.
I think that I think Bionicle. I mean, I never they never said what it was like. I never knew what it stood for until recently. I was told it was Biological Chronicle, but I
so dumb.
Or like Biomechanical Chronicle.
And you were like, no, it's too dumb. It can't be.
Church guy just uploaded a new video playing his 9S. This is a viral marketing thing. If this person is still the only person who can get in, and they're still doing, I don't know. I mean, it could be a really elaborate mod, but the modding community is saying that church thing is not, like, it can't be a mod. Like, it's too sophisticated. Like, the current tools don't allow for it.
Just peace out. I am screwed as soon as Poland surrenders. Okay. We gotta hurry, boys. We gotta hurry.
Why do we gotta hurry?
We gotta hurry, boys.
Why so excited, boys?
It's gonna get bad really fast if we don't hurry.
What's happening? Tell me what's happening in the game, Joshua.
No. No, you're right. Hurricane Area, you're right, Byzantium. I'm doing something with Byzantium.
What are you gonna tell us so we can enjoy the excitement of the war that you're clearly trying to engage in?
I'll put it this way. So this one province that's left is Byzantium. I went in and vassalized them, and now I'm gonna take back all their land for France. I used no Casus Belli, gave myself a huge stability hit. Wait, did I just give that okay, thank God I gave it to Milan. Okay, if I had given it to Aragon, I wouldn't have been able to get that. Holy crap, that scared me. But yes, I may have vassalized the remnants of Byzantium, and now I'm going to give them back Constantinople.
This is so stupid.
Ura! Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh God!
How are you?
Please, no, please!
How did you even prepare yourself to do this?
With skill, Jacob, you see.
I mean, are you doing this are you doing this in a viable way, or are you shitposting and tanking your economy?
It's viable.
Okay.
I'm bad at it, so I am tanking my economy, yes. It'll be fine.
LAW says you're abandoning your allies in Poland, though. Hurricane Area says for France, didn't Spain actually have legal rights to the empire? I'm lost. Hurricane Area, we're playing as France due to an extremely complicated Twitter-based dice roll we explained at the beginning of the stream. And Joshua I don't think he really had a plan.
No.
He's just ad-libbing. He's making this up as he goes along.
I'm just riffing.
He's just riffing.
Okay, well, one thing that's going to make everything be a lot better now is that since Tunis, they've been sieged down by my allies, so I can get some money from them, so I won't be as screwed as I was
Joey
before.
Perez asks, is this stream a way of hinting that we're getting a triangle strategy playthrough? Joshua, why don't you tell the people your opinion on your beloved video game Triangle Strategy?
Okay, so I played, like, most of Triangle Strategy. I was, like, 3 chapters or, like, 4 chapters away from the end, and it was, like, decent. And then I got burnt out, and I went and played FF Tactics instead, and it's way better. And I never went back to Triangle Strategy. That's all I got.
How was the gameplay in Triangle Strategy, Joshua?
It was decent. It wasn't great.
How was the overall like big picture of the story in Triangle Strategy?
It was pretty bad.
How were the characters in Triangle Strategy?
They were worse.
What was it? You said there was something you liked about the story. What was it? What were you initially enjoying about the story?
I enjoyed that. What did I enjoy? I completely forgot. I played a better game and I forgot.
I feel like you said
it exists in a good Zelda game.
I feel like you told me you liked some of the political maneuvering that was happening in Triangle Strategy.
Yes, that's what it was.
Like you liked some of the tactical decisions.
There were also like the characters were decently smart. It was just that the story was stupidly simple for the most part. I actually did like a lot of the kind of twisting turns that the plot took.
What did you think of the story of Final Fantasy Tactics, Joshua?
It was fucking incredible. And I don't say the F word very much, so you know I mean it.
Hey Joshua, where would you say the top 10, top 5 video game stories?
Probably like top 1, top 3.
Oh, Yash, we already talked a lot about the Near Church video earlier, so we're not going to break into that too much. I kind of outlined the Near Church video situation a little bit earlier. I got more Bionicle to talk about.
Shut up.
Why? Don't you want to talk about Bionicle?
No.
Joshua, I haven't even gotten to Metro Nui yet. I was about to get to Metro Nui.
Screw you.
So the wise elders, oh no, nobody in chat tell me. What were the wise elders called? Because it's the Toa are like the tall heroes, the Matoran are the civilians.
Yeah. Wow, you're bad at this.
No. Nobody say anything. Nobody say anything in chat. It started with a K. The Korok seeds is from Zelda.
Yahaha, you found me.
What are they called?
Yahaha. That's what they're called, Jacob. Yahahas.
No. What are the elders called?
Yahahas.
In Bionicle. Oh no.
Swirly glasses.
What are the wise old elders called in Bionicle?
Constantinople is ours.
Oh no. Oh no, I'm a fake fan.
I'm having a great time.
I'm a fake fan.
I'm aware. Okay, the entire Greek coastline has been taken back. We don't have naval supremacy, which is going to make this very bad, but now we just need to wait for Poland to peace out, because as soon as the war score from all the Polish stuff is
Turaga!
gone... Yeah, there you go. You got it.
You got it. I just had to say I had to figure out, like, the name of one of them. I had to remember, like, one of their names.
Nice. I'm so proud of you, Jacob. That was really depressing.
I got it. All right, I figured it out.
Okay.
Figured it out. All right. So the old elders revealed that they used to be Toa, and before that they were Matoran. They went through all the stages of life.
I don't understand. I never understood that.
Who cares? They energized Protodermis, dude. No, discs of power.
Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
I think
Mighty Morbing Power Rangers.
No, they didn't fall in energized Protodermis. That was discs of power thanks to Toa. The last Toa on Metro Nui.
The Last Samurai?
You know, the Last Samurai on Metro Nui, because his team all got effing killed
I remember
before that arc started. You only find out about them in supplemental material later.
Poland is dead. Poland is dead. That's good.
Oh, it was energized Toa stones. Damn it, Green Caps is right. It was the stones. That's right.
Stones?
I remember at the beginning of the movie.
What are you talking about?
At the beginning of the second Bionicle movie, the Metro Nui arc, the old, like, the Toa who's gonna sacrifice all of his own energy to make the 6 new Toas. He goes around and hands Nokama and Toraga and all those other guys whose names I can't remember. He hands them the Toa stones and lures them to a temple.
The Silmarils?
He lures them
Psycho
to a temple
Mantis?
off of the coast of Ga-Metru. And there he sacrifices his own energy to turn them into Power Rangers. And then they go on a big quest to collect the discs of power, which they montage through in the movie, but was like a whole arc in the books and the comics. And then after that, they go to present. I'm skipping ahead of myself. Sorry. Okay. So basically, the first 3 years of Bionicle are set in an island called Mata Nui. Okay. Then the elders of Mata Nui reveal that that there were other Toa, which are basically the Power Ranger heroes of Bionicle, before the core 6 of the first 3 years, who all have amnesia, basically. They basically explain that we, the elders, were once Power Rangers ourselves, and we came from a place called Metro Nui. Now, Metro Nui is unlike the kind of tribal pastoral setting of Mata Nui. Metro Nui is a major metropolitan metropolis, okay? It is a cyberpunk-ass city. The story of it takes place a number of years beforehand. So the stuff I was just talking about a second ago with people being powered up by stones, that's many years in the past from where the first couple seasons take place. So there's a whole arc there where these new heroes go and collect the discs of power, basically as like proof of, hey, we are valid heroes. The city should now accept us as the official heroes, right?
Yeah.
But then they get their shit pushed in and embarrassed by the leader of Metro Nui, who is secretly Makuta in disguise.
That's crazy.
Who wants to discredit them. And basically framed them for the assassination of the previous hero.
Oh no!
Which is what kicks off the arc of the movie, of the second Bionicle movie. Okay, don't worry about it. But the reason this is important, because there was the whole question, you were asking about the great being's robotic body, someone in chat said, and you said, what the hell are they talking about? Josh, do you remember that Metro Nui is underground?
Yes.
Okay, it has a bizarre day-night cycle that seems to be based on the fact that even though it is a large island city, it is huge. It is a small nation size, probably actually kind of large nation size, mid. a large small nation.
So what the hell does that mean?
It means it's a small nation, but it's on the larger side.
It's like a medium-sized dragon.
It's like a medium. It's like just a medium-sized one. Even though it's an island, right, and there's a lot of ocean around it. If you were to sail far enough, you would eventually hit outer walls, Truman Show style. Okay.
Okay.
And there's a day-night cycle in here. This is because Metra Nui is actually in a massive underground, absolutely colossal underground chamber. Okay. This is all initially that is established, is that eventually, through the arc of our heroes eventually have to, in this flashback arc, have to evacuate and go to Mata Nui. This involves a lengthy arc of them journeying through a bunch of underground caverns and caves to eventually get to the surface world and discover Mata Nui, the island the initial arc takes place on. And Metra Nui is 40 miles long. It's not that big. Okay, I always imagine it being bigger than that. All right, I didn't know that they actually had official measurements on these places.
Anytime you get like official dates, it just
that's where plot holes can come in. We're not talking about Ruby. We've hit our quota. So there's a whole adventurous arc, and that was that arc is what the Game Boy Advance game is based on. The Metra Nui, or like with that team with the Toa Metru. There's a Game Boy Advance game that is specifically about their journey through these perilous like underground chambers and caverns to get to the surface world, and they eventually kind of like escort the citizenry of Metra Nui up to Mata Nui. But all the citizens have amnesia. Long story, doesn't matter. But here's the thing, right? Initially, all we know is that Metra Nui is underground. That's all we know initially, right? It's in this massive thing that doesn't look like it's underground, but it is underground. Eventually, it is revealed that Metra Nui is just one of dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens of underground chambers where many other islands and networks exist, right? Like, for example, Joshua, you'll recall after the Metra Nui arc, the plot of the third movie is the Toa Metru go back to Metra Nui to try and get the rest of the civilians that are all in cryosleep, and the place has been taken over by a foreign warlord, right?
Yeah.
Who's actually a pretty cool villain. I remember specifically one of that lady's backs. Well, it's like there's one big bad, and then his lieutenant, and she's the real big bad.
Yeah, she's the real
style.
big bad. Yeah.
And I distinctly remember one of the elements of her backstory was that she comes from this incredibly brutal, hostile island. This is very like weird, abstract imagery that I don't think that the comic tried to depict. But basically, it said that the land of this place that she comes from is in some ways alive. It is slow moving, but it is alive. And a crucial aspect of like a rite of passage here is scaling the mountain at the center of this island.
Oh yeah,
right?
I remember this.
The mountain is alive and will literally eat people. She basically describes that during her rite of passage, you do it with a partner, right? And her partner got his foot stuck in a crevice, right? This mountain is very slow moving, but it's gonna eat him, basically. It's got his foot in a vice grip, and it's gonna suck him in and devour him, and she abandons him in order to distract the mountain so she can get to the top safely.
Sounds dumb.
Now there's people talking about City of Ember, which is a young adult novel series about a city underground. That was created as like a nuclear fallout shelter. But the people who live down there did you ever read or watch? Because there's a film adaptation as well.
No.
Of City of Ember. Bill Murray played the corrupt mayor of the underground town. I think in the books he dies off screen between book 1 and book 2, and in the movie he's killed by a monster, if I recall correctly. Anyway, I don't have time to get into that as well. Plus, I skimmed that first book way back in the day, and I think I caught the movie on TV once. Not my field of expertise. I'm talking about Bionicle. So basically, Joshua, many of these underground islands, right? There are some areas on the surface. For example, I'm pretty sure, if I recall correctly, that Voya Nui from the best arc of Bionicle,
the only good one,
that I'm pretty sure it is actually on the surface. It's very far away from Mata Nui, but it is on the surface. And by extension, I believe like the lengthy like kind of shaft extending downward to the underwater area that's the place in the next arc. I think that connects it down to the large underwater structure that then contains all these other underwater islands, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, so I didn't find out until I think I might have known at one point but forgotten or not cared. I didn't know for sure until a few months ago. I was looking at some Bionicle crap.
Of course you were.
The Great Spirit Matanui's body contains all of these underground settings in chambers inside of his body.
He's the Bionis.
And yes, he's the Bionis. And all of these chambers are gyroscopically controlled so that when he's up and walking around, if he is, he's not because he's been comatose and lying in the ocean for 1,000 years or whatever. But if he's up and walking around, all these islands inside of him are still stable, right?
Got you.
Matanui is actually, the island Matanui is called that because it's his nose. Just barely, cresting the surface.
Interesting.
And I only found this out very recently.
That sounds really dumb.
I think it is pretty dumb, yes. But the lore of Bionicle
I can't be sure, but it sounds dumb.
The lore of Bionicle was mostly always nuts and dumb. It was about cool character designs, cool music, cool action, and some cool individual
and also
plots.
Some All-American Rejects songs.
I just said cool music, and some cool individual arcs. The Voya Nui arc was so choice. It's peak aesthetic, as the kids say. A terrible, obsidian-blasted, volcanic hunk of rock that is a miserable place to live, made even more miserable by the arrival of just a gang of thugs who don't even have great world-ending aspirations. They are just accidentally stumbling their way into the most powerful artifact in this world. And a bunch of rookies who you've been following since the beginning of the story. A bunch of low-level, rookies who were supporting characters who have been there from the very beginning of the story, right? And they go on a mission because the Toa Mata, the original heroes, they go out on a mission to stop these gangsters, but they wind up being unprepared for it and they get captured. So these low-level civilians who you've been following and falling in love with since the very beginning of the story, because they were the center of all of the online stuff, right? They were the main characters of the Matanui Online game and Matanui Online Game 2, and they were the main characters.
Man, I loved Matanui Online Game 2. Remember how it just broke?
Don't worry, it's fixed. You can play it now and it's fixed. Fans have fixed it. And there's a God, I'm losing it now.
Yeah.
So listen, right? So basically the Matoran are the short little civilian characters, right?
Yeah.
The Toa are the tall Power Rangers. And a number of the video games followed these Matoran characters, right? A number of key Matoran characters. There are a bunch of named Matoran, but a couple of really key characters we followed throughout a bunch of different stuff going on, right? There's been one of the Game Boy Color game was about Takua. It led directly into the first Matanui Online game because he gets amnesia at the ending of the Game Boy Color game that I never played, and it leads directly into the Matanui Online game. Okay, and then there's the Matanui Online game 2, which runs concurrently to the first movie. It's Holly's perspective on the Mask of Light arc, and it's actually way better than the actual Mask of Light arc. Following it from Takua's perspective and from the Toa Mata's perspective, it's the lamest one. But from Holly's perspective, it's actually interesting. So that's why
a lie.
It is. It's better. It's better from her perspective. So anyway. And then there's also in between Matanui Online Game 1 and Matanui Online Game 2, in between, during the Borok arc, right? There was no movie for the Borok arc. It was just novels and comic books, right? However, on the website...
Jacob's freestyling
and I didn't
now.
see these until a couple of years ago because I think I didn't know about them or I couldn't find them or whatever, or maybe I just missed the window of opportunity where they're on the website. There was a really long series of flash animations that used the style of the Matanui Online games, but they weren't interactive. It was basically just a little mini-series on the Lego website. And it was while the Toa Mata were doing the Borok arc, right? Mm-hmm. Because if you'll recall, the Borok arc is basically about a massive army of terraforming drones that are trying to glass the entire island, right?
Yeah.
So the main objective of that arc for the Toa Mata is basically to find a way to shut down the entire army. They have brief skirmishes with individual Borok, but their main objective is to stop the overall threat, right?
Yeah, I remember this.
And so the flash animations were about the civilian Matoran just like defending their homes, buying time, right? It's awesome. And so these characters you've been following for years, they go on a mission because the Toamata have not checked in from Voya Nui. Things could be bad. They wind up going on like this whole odyssey. They wind up in like this weird like primeval setting that seems untouched by time, where like this elder god has gone nuts and is holding people hostage and they have to escape. So much cool stuff happens, but then they wind up going through energized protodermis and getting struck by lightning and shit, and they come out on the other end and they become the big tall Power Rangers now. These characters you've been following for years, and they have powers and the coolest designs in the entire series, and they fight the coolest villains, and they're like central.
Yo, Paraka!
But the rap makes them lame. The rap makes that makes them lame.
Yo, Paraka!
And All-American Rejects plays in the background, not the Paraka rap. That sucked. The All-American Rejects plays for the second, because the first arc, there was also what was cool about that arc was that the villains and the heroes weren't introduced at the same time, right? For the first 6 months of 2006, it was the Pyraka versus the locals.
Go Pyraka, go Pyraka.
On Voya Nui, right? So there were 6 new.
So you're saying that everyone got to see the Paraka rap first before they saw any of the good music.
And it blew chunks. It was terrible. I hated it even back
then.
then.
Remember when the guys on the the bucking Bronco?
That's from Bionicle Heroes, the video game, which is totally non-canon.
No, it's in the Paraka rap.
I blocked it from my memory because it sucks.
Yo, Paraka!
Sunny D says, we never see Sora's mom. She could be Bionicle for all we know.
She could also be a Pyraka.
She could be a Pyraka. So listen. So the first half of 2006 in the toy line was just the Pyraka, who are these big, tall, like gangster thug characters. Right? I say this not like in their terms of their style. The rap thing was stupid.
Paraka.
I mean that they are literally like their backstory is that they are basically just like they're just criminals. They are not world-conquering people. They are just criminals who are basically taking advantage of a situation. So the heroes of the first 6 months were basically just civilians on Voya Nui who were like running a little resistance movement, right? Then, if you were reading the comics and getting the books and stuff, you were tracking like Jaller and Holly and Naparu and stuff and Motoro as they got closer to Voya Nui, trying to catch up with the Toamata, who have already been captured by the Pyraka and like poisoned. Basically,
go Pyraka, right? Go Pyraka.
Sorry. And listen, so then midway through the year, after you've had this whole arc of the Pyraka taking over this island and wrecking everything, these characters who you've been following for 6 years, they get there, they get new designs, they get new superpowers and a major character upgrade, and the commercial blasts All-American Rejects at you, and they've shown up and they're gonna kill these guys and save the day. It was so cool, and then the year after that was like fine, and then after that I was like, this is getting a little bit too ridiculous for me when they started talking about all the Great Spirit is a massive body that the cities are contained within, and here's the backstory of the Toamata from 1,000 years ago, and it started to go off the rails, and I kind of lost interest. I stuck around until Motoro's arc finished. That was kind of when I was like, that was great. I don't think I need to see any more of this, though. Ali W says, is this how my roommate feels when I gush about One Piece to her? Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes. This is exactly how your roommate feels. Yo-ho-ho. Yo-ho-ho. Yo-ho-ho.
I've never watched One Piece or read One Piece.
Green Caps, the Mahari arc is like fine. I was starting to I wasn't tracking it as closely at that point. Like that was where I stopped reading the books and stopped reading the comics. Like I think I glanced in at the comics because I was still getting the magazine at that point. But after that, I was done. I didn't really follow it anymore after that arc. The Carda Nui was so good, though, dude. I can't tell if you're being sarcastic with your all caps. I assume that's the arc immediately after where the Toamata come back and they get an upgrade. I do have a couple of the figures from that time period because I was like kind of glancing in to see what was going on. The exact point where I completely and totally tapped out was when Matanui woke up, and it turned out that the ultimate scheme of Pterodax was to possess basically in the second that Matanui woke up but was still weakened, Pterodax jumped in and possessed his body and became the new Elder God and banished Matanui as a mortal to another planet on the side of the galaxy, on the other side of the galaxy.
Yeah, that was dumb.
It wasn't even so much that it was dumb. It was more like, okay,
it was dumb.
I'm officially at the point where I can't do a total like location reset with new characters and new plot lines, and the ultimate elder god of this universe is just a character who's walking around talking to people now. I was like, I don't think I can't do this anymore. I can't be buying new Bionicle encyclopedias and keeping up with the comics and seeing the 4th movie that they're gonna do. That was when I tapped out.
That 4th movie,
I have no idea. Neither of us have ever seen it. It like went to Netflix or some crap, dude.
Well, I got a pretty good general out of all that.
What'd you get?
Yo-Yo Paraka.
You named him General Pyraka?
Yeah, right there. General Pyraka. You've done this to me.
Joy Perez says, do Bionicles have flesh? Are they robots? Not sure. So you came in a little bit late. This is what we were talking about. This is the last thing I'm going to say about Bionicle. This is the last thing I'm going to say about Bionicle, okay? There are purely organic life forms in the Bionicle world. The vast majority of all the main characters, like the intelligent life forms, if you will, and some wild beasts are basically biosynthetic. They have robotic parts, but like organic they're all General Grievous. They're all General Grievous, but instead of like originally being an organic being that then like had to get surgery and put inside a robot body, they just are that way. So no, all a Bionicle is they're all robots, but they have like organic brains, some organic organs, and organic tissue connecting.
Organic organs. Wow, Jacob.
I'm just saying they could have synthetic organs.
Fair.
I mean, I don't know. I guess I don't know where they came from. I assume they were grown and not like born. So I have no idea. And it's stated multiple times in like the novels that there is quote organic tissue connecting their robotic parts. I have no idea what that means or how that works. But the point was they are not pure robots. That was the main thing they were trying to establish. Is whatever the hell they are not pure robots. Bobcat says, I thought the stream was supposed to be Joshua turning Jacob insane, but now it's the other way around, or have they both gone insane? I think the stream title is Joshua plays EU4 while Jacob slips into insanity.
Yeah, that's pretty much as advertised.
This exactly. You're getting what it says on the tin right now. You get what it says on the tin, my guy.
I hate this.
Marinated Octopus says, where are General Grievous's pants?
The Wookiee has no pants.
Where are my pants?
I have a new pair of pantaloons for you to wear. They are stylish. There we go.
Where are my pants?
They are stylish.
Joey Perez says they can all dual-wield lightsabers. Got it, Professor. Actually, most of them do not dual-wield weapons.
Dual-wield.
The vast majority of them, in early seasons have single weapons. That's not true. In the Toa Mata, their initial forms have single weapons. Yeah, you're right. They actually do dual wield later, and when they become the Toa Mata Nuva.
Oh my gosh, what are these names?
They're not the Mata Nuva. They're just called the Toa Nuva. They're not called the Toa.
Yeah, I was about to say the Mata Nuva. I was like, that's not real.
Once they become the Toa Nuva,
I hate this.
they get an upgrade.
I don't want to be here anymore.
I'm pretty sure all of them dual wield. Technically. Pohatsu. Technically, Pohatsu doesn't dual wield because he fights with kicks.
Yeah.
No, he does. He does get weapons when
he does have weapons. He has like little like claw.
Yeah, he gets claws when he's a Toa Nuva. That's right.
Even I know this, and I'm a dumbass.
And then the Metru cast, I think. I'm trying to remember. No, they're not dual wielding because they have the disc launchers. No. I think only Vakama has a disc launcher. I think the rest of them do carry 2 weapons. I'm trying to remember, because like Vakama before he became a Toa was like already like big into Tron style disc combat. I think that he carries a disc thrower. I don't remember if the other characters carry a disc thrower in their offhand or if they're dual wielding. I'm pretty sure most of the other Mata are dual wielding, and Vakama's like unique. Because I just think I remember there's a scene in the movie where the other characters make fun of him because they all pick up cool, unique Devil May Cry weapons, and he just picks up a gun basically.
Hell yeah!
And they all make fun of him for just like what you could use that as a normal like Matoran. You're not gonna pick up something cool. And then the Toa Inaika, which is the cool 2006 guys, the characters that I was talking about you've been following for years who transform. They all only carry one weapon. Or rather, one sword, because each of them also carries a gun. Actually, some of them carry swords that are also guns.
No, they're all gun blades. That's what it is.
Not all of them. Not all of them.
Most of them are gun blades. Just like my favorite character.
In Bionicle Heroes, because it's a third-person shooter. In Bionicle Heroes, because it's a third-person shooter, they all carry guns. But canonically, like or at least in their design, the design of their toys, all 3 of them are just carrying like swords, and 3 of them are carrying clearly projectile weapons, if I recall correctly. Or I don't know. Maybe it's. I think Jawler and Matoro have like clearly just swords, and everybody else has like Ruby style sword guns.
Yes.
All right. Done with Ruby. Done with
Ruby, huh?
Somebody in chat said something about Ruby.
I want to die. That was painful.
What do you want from me?
Anything.
I could have been talking about Kingdom Hearts.
Fair.
Literally, when this started, was me saying, let's talk about Kingdom Hearts, baby, so Josh can play EU4, remember? And then it briefly became about Ruby.
Someone give me questions about something other than any of this.
And then it briefly became about Ruby, and then it became about Bionicle.
Please.
I'm educating the people, Joey. Okay? I said Joey, not Joshua.
Yeah,
I'm used to... Listen, you're not my co-host very often on these.
That is true.
When I say I'm blanking the people, I'm trying to entertain the people, Joey, is my normal... That's where the sentence goes. That's the structure of the sentence, Joshua.
I don't want to be here anymore. I'm kidding. I'm having a great time.
Yay! Brotherly love!
I might have to kill him. That was only slightly a joke.
Ooh, Chrono Trigger music. Undersea Palace, just like my favorite franchise, Bionicle.
Why do you have to draw connections between something that sucks and something that's great?
Can I say something about Bionicle? The fact that we never got like a really cool, big budget open. They're making an Ubisoft Avatar game. When's my Ubisoft Bionicle game?
Honestly, that would work.
Seriously?
That would actually work.
Ubisoft Bionicle game set in Metro Nui? Maybe Metro Nui would be too hard because it's so dense. Like, it'd have to be zones, not an actual open world. You could do Mata Nui, though. You could do Mata Nui as an open world setting. We've joked before about doing Bionicle games on this show. Like, Joey would want to do, like, the console games. He would want to do Bionicle the game for GameCube, PS2, and PC and Xbox.
Yeah.
Or like, Bionicle Heroes, which I do own both of those. I actually don't own any of the handheld games. I only own the 2 console games.
Handheld games are just, like, crappy, like 2D platformers. Right?
I don't know anything about them. I don't think they're 2D platformers. From what I've seen, they're mostly, like, top-down combat games.
Oh, they're like Zelda clones?
Like pseudo-Zelda clones.
Huh.
As much as you can get on the GBA and Game Boy Color.
You mean like Link's Awakening?
But Josh, like, but made by people who aren't good at making games.
Oh, yeah, I could see the problem there.
I've seen screenshots of those Game Boy Color games, but never them in motion, because my exposure to them was photos in a Lego magazine 20 years ago.
Ah, that'll do it.
That'll do it. I want to point out, Joshua, that a while ago our viewership dipped to like 13 or so. It's back up to 23. I brought the crowd in with Bionicle.
Well, it was also you taking a massive dump for like 25 minutes and leaving me on my own.
I wasn't just going to the bathroom that whole time. I had
you
to
were
step
taking
away for
a massive deuce.
You literally saw me walk away and have to do other stuff.
I didn't. This cannot be proven. I never said that. I never said that.
Oh, hold on, I've opened the wrong thing. This is the Game Boy Advance version of Bionicle, which was the... What the hell? There's multiple... These guys aren't labeling them correctly. It just says Long Play Lego Bionicle. Long Play Lego Bionicle. They had subtitles, you son of a bitch. Yeah, I was right. Here's the thumbnail for Maze of Shadows, which is the arc about the Toa Metro going back up to the surface.
Yeah, I remember
There's
Maze of
Bakama
Shadows.
just holding the launcher. I was right about his weapon choice.
Wow.
Yeah, I was
Aren't you smart?
Okay, hold on. So at least Maze of Shadows. Oh, okay. Maze of Shadows is a turn-based RPG? I was about to say, oh, it's like the King, like the Knight's Kingdom game on Game Boy, the Lego Knight's Kingdom game. I was gonna say it actually looks kind of similar in its graphical quality.
Yeah.
But then watch this. He shoots a disc at a scorpion.
Kids love to toss grab a disc.
And he's in a turn-based combat menu now.
Huh.
How does this work?
I don't know.
Strong element against other oh, it's like Pokemon. There's elemental affinities. I guess that makes sense for Bionicle because there's all the different elemental matchups.
Interesting.
Use disc, use mask, use tool, use item. Yeah, it's a little turn-based RPG. Crazy. But I'm trying to find the Game Boy Color ones. Hold on a second. Okay, there's at least one. There's at least one. Okay, so Bionicle Matoran Adventures looks like a 2D platformer.
What an adventure. An Ewok adventure.
Okay, yeah, so yeah, okay, alright. Bionicle Matoran Adventures looks like a crappy Game Boy Color 2D platformer. Okay. Where's this game? No, this is Game Boy. No, yeah, the graphics are too good. This is Game Boy Advance. Okay. Yeah, then they're fighting Borok, so it was later on in the arc, so it's Game Boy Advance. That would have been like 2000, that would have been like 2004, I don't know. I thought for sure there was a Game Boy Color game.
I hope you're glad to know
no, it was
that
2002,
I hope you're glad to know that while you were on this entire spiel, my brain was melting in the interior, and Francis collapsed in the intervening time.
Well,
I know you're happy to know that. Yours.
Why?
Yours.
Why? JG says, damn, I missed this stream. I was on a date with my girlfriend. Can I be a gamer and have a relationship?
No, that's impossible.
I could have sworn there were Game Boy Color games. Maybe they were canceled, because at least one or two Bionicle games were advertised and then canceled.
Really?
Yeah.
I know about the one, yeah.
Big mystery of my childhood was what happened to that PC Bionicle game. It was gonna be the first big one.
Yeah.
It was probably gonna be cooler than the one that we actually got. It was going to be a PC game, then we eventually got a PC and console game. I think the issue was it was being developed just for PC, and it was like, that's not a big enough market. We want it on consoles, too. So they went with a different developer.
Yeah.
I would have just done both. Like how Harry Potter, for the first, 4 games... It was really the first 3 games.
Well, it's because they needed to get that bonus bean room in there.
Well, no, it's more just that, there were, 7 different versions of, Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone and Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, right? So, most people know either the console or PC versions of Philosopher's Stone / Sorcerer's Stone and Chamber of Secrets. They were both kind of 3D action platformers that shared a couple of assets and game design elements, but they were pretty similar. But they were pretty different, I mean. They had a couple of design elements, but they were done by totally different teams, different map design, some different gameplay. Like in the PC version, you would learn spells by drawing, tracing a little shape, and in the console version, you would do a little QTE. But they were kind of 3D adventure action games, right? Then there was the Game Boy Advance game, which was oh god, I don't remember how. I didn't own any of these. I only know this by reputation. I don't remember how the Game Boy Advance one plays. I assume it was just a lame top-down action game. The Game Boy Color game, because there was one for Philosopher's Stone, was a turn-based RPG, a Game Boy Color turn-based RPG where you all had no party. You were just Harry Pot shooting spells at little scorpions.
Oh yeah, man.
And then later they retroactively went back because EA needed money. They did another Philosopher's Stone video game between Chamber of Secrets and Prisoner of Azkaban because there was a year gap, and we got squeezed in another Harry Potter game. And basically what they did was, by that point in time, the GameCube, PS2, Xbox were out, and while there had still been a PS1... I'm pretty sure there was a PS1 version of... Maybe I'm wrong. No, there wasn't a PS1 version of Chamber of Secrets, but there was a PC version of Chamber of Secrets. So the legacy of that game design did continue on for another game or two. Because I think the people who are making the PC game, the team that made the Philosopher's Stone PC game, I think they were working on it up until the third game. Then after that they were out and they got homogenized. Basically, then after the console version of Chamber of Secrets, the console version of Chamber of Secrets was a very explicit Zelda clone set in Hogwarts.
Yeah.
So then in between Chamber of Secrets...
I actually knew that part.
Between Chamber of Secrets and Prisoner of Azkaban, they flipped 50% of the map from Chamber of Secrets, and did a Philosopher's Stone game with the same mechanics.
Oh, okay.
Like
so the Chamber of Secrets game actually came first?
Yes.
Interesting.
The PS2 version did.
Well, yeah.
Because they did basically in between Chamber of Secrets and Prisoner of Azkaban movies, EA just said we want another Harry Potter game because they sell well. So they just had the team reuse like the core Hogwarts map and the mechanics and the code and stuff, and just do another game like this, but change it around, change the story, add some new areas, drop some areas. No, this isn't about the Lego Harry Potter games, Joey Perez. Those were way later and totally unrelated.
And way better.
Totally different beast. Tranquility's a great track, but it doesn't need to go on for 9 minutes. Next track. Materia production from Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade Episode Yuffie DLC.
Wow.
This is when she and Sonon are in the bowels of the Shinra HQ trying to steal their ultimate materia. Joshua, so I know you haven't seen the Yuffie DLC yet. You remember that room where Scarlet is doing the tests?
No.
Where they introduce Scarlet in the core game, right? And it explodes, and she's like sitting in a chair and using a Shinra soldier as like a footrest.
Yes.
So you can walk into that room in the Yuffie DLC, right? You see that room, you can go there, because you're in the materia like research facility. And so you know how in Final Fantasy VII you can sit on benches to heal yourself? So you can make Yuffie go up to that seat, and if you hit sit on it, she does like a big jump and like lands back in it with her arms spread out, and that's the bench rest for that area. Chamber did have a PS1 version? Okay, alrighty. That's fine. No, I know the PC version was different. I couldn't remember if Chamber had a PS1 version and a PS2 version or not. Could not recall, but I believe you, Green Caps. What was I talking about? Why did I bring that up? Because I was talking about Game Boy Color Bionicle games. Hold on. I gotta get back to Bionicle. It all comes back around.
I hate you.
I was saying this because I would have thought that you would just still let the PC-only Bionicle game release and do the console version that they commissioned from somebody else.
Yeah.
Especially because that console game was like super rushed and had a bunch of content cut. It was not great. Okay, looks like there was no Game Boy Color game for Bionicle, just Game Boy Advance games. My bad. Quest for the Toa was like a weird top-down game. This YouTube long play is just calling Lego Bionicle, but I know that this is the right game. I know what it looks like. I'm gonna pull up some footage. You gotta create a character, but Sakura has a canon appearance.
Create a character.
This one is a top-down action game.
Interesting.
It's just got kind of odd graphics. It's got that like, it's got that the pixels have that fuzz around them that indicates to me that it was like it's not native Game Boy Advance pixels. It's like a higher resolution, like scan or 3D object. It's been like Donkey Kong Country style, right? That's what's kind of odd about it. It's got kind of Donkey Kong Country visuals for the character models. Alec W says the French Empire will fall and Jacob's Bionicle obsession will be to blame.
Yeah, this is going very poorly for me right now.
Well, why don't you tell us what's going on right now in France?
Basically, the Burgundian Succession happened, and
what's that?
I really don't want to explain it right now.
It's fine. It's fine.
And
don't actually do it.
I had a big, like, right before the event fired, a bunch of bullshit happened to where, like, I had the same monarch as, like, I had a Trasmara got in charge, which is, like, the dynasty of Spain. Because of some bullshit.
Okay.
Like, my monarch died at 30 just because he felt like
These
it.
things happen.
Usually not unless they're trying to screw you or Jesus decides you need to die.
Okay. I just meant, like, historically these things happen.
Yeah, I know. And basically since then, just the entire thing's unraveling is basically all you need to know. It's just, basically all my allies stopped being my allies for bullshit reasons.
Joey Perez says, is the Bob Dylan anthem video the only time Jacob discussed Bionicle on the main channel? You would think he would find more opportunities considering how much he knows about the lore. I think if we've learned anything from this, it's that there are people in the chat who know more than I do. This is one of those things where somebody only seems like an expert when you don't know that much about the subject. The last time I talked about Bionicle for that long was when Joey and I went to see SpongeBob the Broadway musical, and on the drive back, there was like a 45-minute discussion where Joey asked me questions about Bionicle. That was several years ago. That was pre-COVID. That was when when the SpongeBob Broadway musical was still touring. Jordan Comber asks, "Is this one of your favorite grand strategy games, Joshua?"
Yeah, and I'm kind of mad that this is going really poorly for me right now. I was not prepared to talk and be doing this at the same time, and I'm not gonna lie, your Bionicle shit really messed me up.
People are gonna accuse me of doing it on purpose because of my supposed hatred of the French that I don't actually have. I just wanted to talk. I was just trying to entertain the people. You said I need to focus on the game. Jacob, you're just making me talk. It's just the Joshua Talks Hour. I need to focus, and I said sure, I'll talk. And I talked about Bionicle. Time to loop back to Kingdom Hearts. All tried.
Granted, I didn't need to declare this war. I just did it because I thought it'd be fun to show it, and I'm getting smoked. And usually you don't declare this war as France because it's very hard to win. I just thought, I'll try it. We'll see if I win, and I am not.
Ali W asks, "What is the plot of SpongeBob the Broadway musical?" It concerns the eruption of a volcano that is going to destroy Bikini Bottom, and in classic SpongeBob fashion, there is no solution to this. We can't go anywhere, so we just got 3 days to live. SpongeBob and Sandy and Patrick decide we should do something about this. Everybody else is like, let's throw a party. Mr. Krabs wants to make money. Squidward is convinced this is my chance. At the big party we're gonna throw, I can finally get on stage and get the recognition that I deserve. Blah blah blah. It feels pretty SpongeBob-y. It feels very like there's some crisis that they're not dealing with appropriately. There was a little bit of, because it literally released in 2016, there is a tiny undercurrent of immigration politics in it, but it's really simple. It's basically just like that there are a couple of the residents of Bikini Bottom. Again, I don't mind because it feels like SpongeBob. They're like, why is the volcano erupting? It's Sandy's fault. She's not from around here. She's a land mammal. We never had volcanoes erupt before she showed up.
Funny.
It's got a little bit of that in it, but it's very minor, and the point quotation marks that is making is don't be an asshole. It's not like it's outrageous politics, but mostly it's just fun. And it had the music's they got a bunch of different people to work on it. There's a ton of different musicians contributing to music to it. It's all fairly high quality. It won a bunch of Tonys. I want to say it was I don't think it was the same year as Hamilton, but it was the same year as something else major, and it was the second highest Tony winner of that year.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna be done with this here in a minute. I'm getting smoked.
Hey, these things. We gotta go to bed eventually because we gotta stream Breath of the Wild tomorrow.
Jesus. Yeah, I think I'm done here. I think it's going to end with the French Empire dying.
No!
I'm good with that.
No! These things, they happen.
Yeah.
These things, they happen, ladies and gentlemen. Joshua, give us the post-mortem on what happened.
I will.
Give us the historical lecture as if this, what occurred? What occurred here? How did the French Empire...
I was really scared that this RNG possibility was going to happen, because usually I just save scum my way around it, and I knew that wouldn't be fun on a stream. Mm-hmm. Basically, the Burgundian Succession, I thought I'd try to fight it. I knew it was going to be a very hard war. I thought I'd try to fight it. Basically, what happens is the Duke of Burgundy fell under a personal union, and he had the option to either join France or join Austria. He chose to join Austria, which basically means that a bunch of core French territory lies in Burgundian hands. You can either go try to contest it, or you let it go.
Okay.
You can let it go. That's usually what I do if this happens in my games, because otherwise you're put into a very one-sided war against Austria that you still have to try to win. I thought I'd try to win it, just because I thought for the sake of content that would be more fun, and I lost it. So that's where it's going to end.
Oh, well, hey, listen. Listen. We can do it again next time you're in town. Why not?
We'll see. I'll go with a better country. I really don't like playing France.
Oh, well. No big deal, really.
Oh, look. It's
popping in and out. It's trying to figure out what resolution your computer's outputting at right now.
Yeah.
We got a pretty funky setup here today, folks, because Joshua's not actually playing on the computer that's streaming it. We're like piping the signal. It doesn't matter. Who cares? Our setup's funky. Don't worry about it. Isn't our setup always funky, though, in some way, shape, or form? Even if you guys don't know about it, there's always something weird going on. Anything else in chat real quick to address before we wrap up here? I don't know. French hatred runs in the family, I see. Jordan Combra, we don't hate the French here, ladies and gentlemen. Because for real. Okay, so memes aside, because sometimes when I say
I also played horribly because I was trying to talk the whole time, and I had horrible RNG.
So maybe
I just played badly too.
Maybe next time we do this, we'll have Joey join us as well, so you can focus on the game. And
I'll play as someone who's a lot easier to play too.
Mm-hmm. Listen, that was Twitter's choice. Twitter chose Sonic.
Yeah.
Jordan Combra.
I shouldn't have contested the war with Austria. I was in a position where I really shouldn't have, and I was like, I'll try it for the sake of content. No one was watching me play the game anyway, so it's not like it mattered.
All memes aside, ladies and gentlemen. Occasionally when I say like I don't hate the French, I'll then joke about except for how they, and then I'll say something terrible. Let's actually trace the history of this, okay? Back in the Dream Drop Distance stream, circa like 2018 or whenever that was, I made a joke at one point about how, wow, there are a lot of these Kingdom Hearts levels set in France, right?
Yeah.
I was in Dream Drop Distance, and particularly you go there twice, because you go there for Hunchback of Notre Dame, and you go there for the Three Musketeers. But then it's like Cinderella is also set in France, and there's a bunch of these things, and it's just because a lot of these fairy tales originate from that part of the world. So I made a passing joke about like, oh, you know, the French, they got all these fairy tales. They need to stop living in a fantasy world, start living in the real world. It was like, you know, it was like a 2-second bit, right? And I don't know if I don't know if chat really seized, because I don't remember specifically. I don't remember if chat really seized upon it until, if it was before or after Dean Weiss did his edit of that stream, where when I said that, he cut in, and then cut to a photo of me holding a baguette with a big mustache. From there, people just kept talking about Jacob. Is this more of your well-documented hatred of the French anytime that they were mentioned at all?
It was also, that was also a nice side effect of that poll that we did, and an ending with France. That was part of the reason I put Sonic as being blue, is I was like, people will pick Sonic. People will be able to make jokes about how Jacob hates the French.
Yeah, but I didn't make any jokes about France today, did I?
No.
See, I have some modicum of.
Next time we do this, it might be a situation where I just literally I can just do a Discord stream, and just be
from elsewhere.
From elsewhere, and then you can just screen capture that. That might make it a bit easier.
I suppose there's nothing to
stop
stop
pipe in my
that
audio
from
Discord.
I suppose there's nothing to stop that from happening.
I'm also trying to run this on a Game Boy Color right now, so it's not really.
What are you running on a Game Boy? Oh, sure. Your laptop here is.
The laptop here is not great for gaming.
The laptop he's currently running the game on.
My
is not
PC
great.
is currently at college.
I'm turning my webcam on for half a second. I guess if you want to come over here and also be on webcam, you can. But yeah,
people don't want to see my ugly mug.
Nah,
that's not me fishing for a compliment. Talk in the comments below about how ugly I am. It's great.
There's a photo of you right on the front of the thumbnail, and people clicked on it, so you can't be that ugly.
I don't know about that one.
But otherwise, we're just looking at a black screen right now, so I'm turning myself on for 5 seconds. Sheila Fox said, I've lived in France for 5 years now. One thing I know is that even the French don't like the French.
Isn't it like a running joke is how the French like need to complain about something like all the time?
I don't know, dude.
I've seen some of those meme videos where it's like, it's, you know, and it's a picture of someone being really stressed out, and it's the French trying not to complain for 10 seconds. But I don't know. I don't know those people. I won't pass judgment.
Anyway, but no, for right now, all I promise I'm not even building up to a big zinger about the French. I'm just being totally honest and real with you guys. I got no particular problem with them there Frenchies, okay? Right? Next time around, maybe some jokes. Today, since we just saw their empire crumble, I'm gonna say something nice. I'll be nicer.
Thanks, Weiss.
French here for 1 second.
You know, she said that while she was still a flaming racist.
She did. Well, no, we didn't know she was a racist yet.
Did we not?
She said that before.
She said that pre-racism? I forgot.
That was pre-racism, boys. That was when she was just kind of mean.
What? Your mic cut out?
When I changed the screen. Yeah, hold on a second.
Good job.
That's what I get for trying to give you guys something more pleasant to look at, but it's okay. I was not using slurs against French, cutting out my microphone on purpose. I bet you guys could probably still hear me over Joshua's mic. Not great, yeah. but whatever. Anywho, whatever. I was only cut out for a few seconds there. All I was saying was, all jokes and memes aside for tonight, I'm not building up to a bit at all. I'm being perfectly honest for once. Maybe next time I'll make some jokes about the French, but today I'm just saying, hey, that's a joke that you guys enforced upon me, not how I feel, okay? That's you putting your mindset onto me, not who I am.
Jacob is turning your horrible mindset into an incredible grind set.
Absolutely. I am going to make so much money off of you guys making jokes about French. Absolutely. Making
at least
jokes
3
about the
cents.
French. And I don't even believe any of it. I'll say all kinds of heinous stuff because I know you'll laugh it up, but I won't mean any of it.
Is that how we're ending?
What are you looking at me like that for? I was talking from a little across the room, Bobcat. What happened was when I switched screens, the microphone setups were not the same across the 2 OBS settings. So Joshua's mic was still running, mine wasn't, and we're not right next to each other. There's a bit of I'd say a yardstick worth of distance between us.
That's not true. It's like at least 3 yards. Yards 3 feet. It's like a meter. You're making our American units look worse. They're already really dumb. We already talked about them in the last stream.
What is this, like 2-3 meters between us?
At least 10 feet.
2-3 meters between us?
I'd say 3 meters.
I'm actually better at estimating meters than I am yards.
I mean, yeah, meters are super easy to estimate with. Feet suck. Because I think of my foot, and I know that's not right.
For every $5 donated equals a Jacob hating the French joke? LOL. No. It's more that. See, you guys, all you guys here in the stream tonight, you can't let the secret out. It's that, like, I'm gonna make jokes about French because I know that French people, because that brings the audience in, but I don't mean it. But you can't tell people that I'm just doing it to exploit members of the audience for their money. They're like, I'm expecting, like, people will laugh when I make jokes about the French, and they'll become fans. You can't tell people that. That's a secret that that I am literally French, and no one knows it.
And nobody knows I'm doing it.
Sheila Flower says, I will never get over the fact that in French, a wand is une baguette magique.
That's something right there.
I don't know if I believe that. I think that she's messing with us right now.
That can't be true, right?
I don't know about that.
I'm looking it up. Google Translate's never wrong.
Google Translate's never once steered anybody wrong. Oh, this is...
Nope, that's right. Baguette magique. There it is.
That's,
Woo!
And with that discovery, ladies and gentlemen, that's it. Tune in sometime tomorrow. Let it be shown that while the stream ended with French slander, I was not the one who initiated it, and indeed I argued that must be a lie. Surely, that must be a lie. That must be a lie. I tried to defend the honor of the French people and the French language. Let it be shown here today that I, frustrated Jacob, was not responsible for the downfall of the French Empire and fought for them until the very end.
You fought against them.
No, I didn't.
Bionicle would beg to differ.
How many Bionicles were sold in France, do you think?
Probably at least like 5.
They probably sold some Bionicles.
Probably like maybe 6 even.
Anyway, more Breath of the Wild tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen. Joey will be with us. Yeah. We're Gerudo Quest. If you haven't watched the last stream, we were walking out into the desert when we wrapped up last time. So if you're familiar with Breath of the Wild, we'll be trying to do the Gerudo main quest, unless we get distracted.
We'll probably get distracted. It's Breath of the Wild.
May happen. We'll see what happens. Anyway, see you guys next time.
Bye-bye.